Hey everybody, I'm Josh Jackson from WPSculptor.com. Thank you so much for joining me. In this step-by-step video tutorial, I'll be walking you through how to create a professional and customizable e-commerce website with WordPress using a free theme called MyStyle and a free e-commerce plugin called WooCommerce. This tutorial is comprehensive so that everyone, including absolute beginners, can easily follow along. If you find the video helpful, please like the video on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and add the video as a favorite. These things really help me out. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. In just a moment, I'll show you the exact e-commerce website we're going to create, but for now I'll start with a bullet list. The following step-by-step video tutorial will include setting up a domain name and hosting account with HostGator.com, getting your first month of web hosting for just 1 cent, installing WordPress onto your hosting account, installing the free MyStyle theme from WooThemes, installing the free e-commerce plugin called WooCommerce from WooThemes, creating pages using the visual editor, using free stock photos and icons, creating a contact form page, creating basic products and organizing products into product categories, creating variable products with advanced e-commerce functionality, creating products that are currently on sale, setting up navigation menus with drop-down functionality, setting up a product categories page, setting up the home page, configuring featured products, coming up with a professional color scheme for your website using free online resources, creating a custom logo with a free graphic and free online editing applications, setting up payment processing with PayPal, configuring advanced tax and shipping options, creating coupon codes to provide customers with free shipping and other discounts, adding advanced upselling and cross-selling functionality to your site, using widgets and widget areas to enhance usability, creating an optional blog and setting up comment options, basic WordPress settings, and more. Alright, this is the exact same e-commerce website I'm going to show you how to create step by step without skipping any steps whatsoever, so everyone will be able to easily follow along. The first thing we're going to do is set up a domain name and hosting account with the company I recommend called HostGator. Now I'm actually using a subdomain, and that is market.quickwebsitecreation.com. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to have to purchase a new domain name every time I make a new video tutorial. The domain I actually own is quickwebsitecreation.com. So you'll be able to get your own domain name and set up hosting account on that domain. After we get that set up, we're going to install a wonderful free content management system called WordPress onto that hosting account. And after that, we'll install the free MyStyle theme and the free e-commerce plugin called WooCommerce. Both are from a wonderful theme company called WooThemes. And those two, the plugin and the theme, work very well together. And we're going to make a lot of customizations to your website. You'll be able to set up a custom color scheme. You can see I've got this brown shade and this nice blue and orange that all work really well together. I'm going to show you how to create or come up with a custom color scheme like that, a professional color scheme, using some free tools. You don't have to be a graphic designer to do this. There are a couple of resources, free resources that we're going to go over. I'm going to also show you how to get free icons that you can use for your website, and in this case for your logo. And I'm going to show you how to create your logo using a couple of different free online editing applications. And we're going to be setting up our home page. If you scroll down here, this is another image that I got from the same free resource where I got this icon. So you're going to learn about that website. And for your home page with the MyStyle theme, you have the option to include a featured image here with some custom text here and some custom text here. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. And you also have some product options to display on your homepage. I've got it set up to show 4 featured products, so I'm going to show you how to configure your homepage settings and how to pick which products are going to be your featured products. And you also have the option to include your blog posts if you choose to. I decided to create a separate blog page for my blog posts, but you have the option to include that on your homepage as well. And if we scroll down here, you see that I've got 4 different areas in my footer, and these are called widget areas. And what I have in each widget area are widgets. And in this case, we've got a featured products widget, we've got a product categories widget, we've got a blog categories widget, and then we've got a shopping cart widget. And you can see I don't have any products currently in the cart, but if we did, they would show up here. I'm going to show you how to configure all of that. And if we scroll up to the top here, I'm going to show you how to create pages. And if I click on my About page, I'm going to show you how to use those images that we're going to get from the free resource, or you can use your own, of course, your own images, but I'm going to show you how to use the visual editor in WordPress to put images and text, and to make certain text bold, and to create bullet lists as you see there, and also to embed YouTube videos. And if we click on our contact form, I'm going to show you how to create a contact page. And if a user filled out this contact form and clicked on the submit button, it would be sent to the email address that you specify. And we're also going to be setting up our navigation menus. The My Style theme has a spot for a top navigation menu here that you see, and then a main navigation here. So we're going to be setting up the pages that we want to have on our navigation menu. And you can see I've got a drop down menu. We're going to be going over drop downs and how to create those within WordPress. We're also going to be organizing our products. As you see here, I've got my products organized into 4 different categories. So I'm going to show you how to create a page that's the product categories page. If we click on that, it's going to show all of our product categories, and we could click on any one of those to see all the products within those categories. For example, in my produce category, I've got 5 different products that are all in that category. And if we click on our shop page here, you'll have every product that we create is going to be automatically added to our shop page. And let's go ahead and click on the Fuji Apples product. I'm going to show you how to, of course, add all your products. And when you add your product, you have a place for a price, you have a place for a short description that you see there, and the categories, we decided to do 2 categories for our fruits and 2 for our vegetables. So our fruit is going to be in the fruit category and the produce category. And you can also set up a light box, and if we click on these, it'll open up in this nice light box. You can scroll through all the different images that you can upload. Of course, this is optional. And if you have large images, you can use this feature to expand the image and view those large images. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. Then, of course, you'll have a place for your long description that'll go here. You have the option to use reviews if you want to include product reviews. And I'm going to go back to the shop page, and I want to point out that I'm also going to teach you how to set up what's called a variable product. And a very common example of a variable product might be a t-shirt. For a t-shirt, you could have different variations for sizes. That's the most likely. And you might even also have different colors for that same product. And let's say you wanted to use different pictures for each one of your different variations, and you wanted to have possibly different prices. It's completely up to you. I'm going to show you how to do that using a coffee grinder as an example. With my coffee grinder, you can see that I've got a model and a size, and for the model I've got the standard and premium option. For the size, I've got a large and medium option. So if I wanted to choose the standard and wanted the medium standard model, you can see that the picture changes and the price is $15. Well, let's say I want the premium medium model. The price is now $25, and you get the premium picture. And for the premium large, the price is $30. So you'll be able to have different prices, different pictures for all of your variations. I'm going to show you how to do that. And you're also going to get this tab that shows up with the different options under additional information. Let's go back to the shop page, and we'll just click on the apples product. And I'm going to add 2 orders of the apples to my cart. Click on add to cart. And if I click on my about page, for example, I want you to point out that there's also a sidebar widget area in the My Style theme. You can do a right sidebar widget area or a left sidebar widget area. And I'm going to show you how to configure that. And we've currently got a shopping cart widget added and a product categories widget added to that widget area. So you can see that my the 2 apples that I've just added to the cart are now showing up in my cart there, and then also in the footer widget for the cart, they're showing up. Now, let me walk you through the checkout process. If we click on this tab to view the cart, or this icon rather, you can see that I have 2 orders of the apples in my cart. I'm going to show you how to set up a coupon code, and you can use coupon codes to have percentage discounts, you can have dollar value discounts, and you can have free shipping discounts, and you can use certain restrictions and get very specific with your criteria for all of those different coupon codes that you can use. But we are going to walk you through, I'm going to walk you through how to set up a free shipping coupon. And if we scroll down, we're going to set up shipping options. I've got it set to 3 basic flat rate shipping options. You've got a $5 ground shipping, 2-day shipping, and overnight shipping option there. So let's just stick with the $5 ground shipping for now and click on proceed to checkout. And here your customers will be able to log in if they have an account created, and if we scroll down they would also be able to create an account after they filled out their information if they did not have an account created. And what that does is it allows them to not have to type in their shipping and billing information every time they want to come to your website and purchase a product. And also they'd be able to log in and see recent order history, and they would be able to leave comments on your blog posts if you had comments enabled. I'm just going to fill out the billing information real quick. Alright, and if I scroll down, I want you to notice that we have a tax added. I'm going to show you how to set up your tax options. And what I want you to notice is that I've set my tax up to be 7.5% only for people that are residents of the state where I have the business set up. And I'm going to show you how to do all that, of course, in your WooCommerce settings. But I've currently got the business set up in Colorado, and I've got my tax settings set up to only apply the 7.5% tax rate that I have for Colorado to people that have billing or shipping addresses in Colorado. And the reason I did that is because my understanding is with a lot of online businesses, you don't have to charge tax, sales tax to people that don't reside in the state where your business is located. So let's say, for example, we are from Alabama. I'm going to change that to Alabama, and you scroll down and you notice that that tax disappears. So of course this is just the way I've set it up, and you can do it any way you want, but I'm going to walk you through how to do all that. And so let's say we are in Colorado, so we do have to pay that tax. I'm not going to worry about creating an account right now. And after you review all your order, you click on proceed to PayPal. And I'm going to show you how to configure a PayPal account with your e-commerce website. It's very easy to do. And what's going to happen is it's going to take the customer's whole order, the shipping, the product, and the tax is all going to be itemized here. And the customer can either pay with a PayPal account if they had one, or if they don't have a PayPal account, they can click on this option and just pay with a debit or credit card. And after that, you would be sent an email from PayPal that lets you know that the customer had made the purchase, and you could fulfill that order at that point. And I do want to point out that there are multiple ways to set up your payment processing, but I highly recommend going with PayPal just because it's really quick and easy to do. And you also don't have to worry about payment processing security on your website when you use PayPal, because the payment processing takes place on PayPal's end. And they do charge a small fee. I think it's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. But that's just part of the cost of selling anything online. Let's go back, and I do want to show you some of the advanced shipping options we're going to go over. We talked about some advanced tax options. Let's go back, and let's say you have a product that you have to pay more shipping costs on, and you want to pass those costs along to your customer. So let's say, for example, that my coffee grinder is big and bulky, and I have to pay an additional $3 for each of the shipping options to ship that product. So I'm going to go back to my shop, and actually let's go back to the cart and let's take these products off. Click on update cart. Let's go back to my shop page, and I'm going to add a coffee grinder, and we'll just add a standard large coffee grinder, and I'm going to click on add to cart. And when I view my cart, you can see that I've got that coffee grinder in place. Now scroll down, and I want you to notice that the shipping is more expensive. Earlier we had a $5 option, a $10 option, and a $15 option. Well, I've set this up to add $3 to each of the shipping options every time a coffee grinder is added to the cart. So for example, if I add another one and then update the cart, you'll see that I've got an additional $3 right there. Now it's 11, 16, and 21. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And of course, this can be set up any way you want it to, and this is just the way I've done it. But I'm going to walk you through how to do all that. And then of course, let's go back to our home page. I do want to show you that the MyStyle theme and WooCommerce plugin are mobile friendly. So if I resize my window, you can see that it resizes nicely as it would on a mobile device. And you have this nice mobile menu that'll function like that, and your top navigation menu would function like this. And if we make this back to normal size, the last thing I'm going to do is show you how to set up your blog, and this is completely optional. You don't have to have a blog, but I mentioned earlier you can choose to show your blog posts on your home page if you wanted to do that. I'm going to show you how to set a separate page to be your blog page, and it'll show your latest blog posts at the top. And we're only going to create one blog post, but if you had multiple blog posts, they would show up beneath your most recent post. And I'm going to show you how to, of course, set up a featured image. And if we click on this, we are taken to the full contents of the post. And I'm going to show you all you need to know about comment settings. And if you wanted to enable comments, you could do that. And then your users, if they wanted to write a comment, they would need to create an account on the My Account page there. And all of this, of course, I'm going to show you how to do step by step without skipping any steps, so everyone should be able to easily follow along. The first thing we're going to do is set up a hosting account and a domain name, and for that I highly recommend using a company called HostGator.com. They've got a wonderful product and service. They've also got excellent pricing, and they have the option to pay by the month, so it makes it a little easier to get started. So go ahead and go to HostGator.com. Alright, when you get there, you can see that their plans start out at only $3.96 a month, and either click on View Web Hosting Plans here, or click on Web Hosting here. Alright, scroll down and you'll see that you've got 3 different options to choose from. The hatching plan, you can host one domain on that account, and of course that's going to be your cheapest plan. And then the baby plan is a great deal because you can host as many domains as you own all on one account. So if you have multiple websites, or if you plan on having multiple websites and multiple domain names, then that's a great option for you. And then the business plan has a free private security feature and a free toll-free number. Most people probably don't need that. So I usually recommend starting out with the baby plan. So go ahead and click on Order Now. Alright, and if you don't have a domain name, this is where you need to register for one. And of course, a domain name is going to be like a google.com or an ebay.com. Of course, you can't choose something that's already taken. And I actually already own a domain. The domain that I own is quickwebsitecreation.com. And since I don't want to have to purchase a new domain name every time I make a new video tutorial, I'm going to use a subdomain. So for my account, for the video tutorial, I'm going to use a subdomain on my hosting account, and it's just going to be market.quickwebsitecreation.com. But for the purposes of this video tutorial, I'm just going to show you what it would look like if you were going to register for a new domain. And let's use the best online farmers market. Alright, and of course we left that to .com. And you can see that that domain name, thebestonlinefarmersmarket.com, is available, so you could purchase that. And then of course you also have the option to purchase .net, .org, .info, or .biz. So oftentimes the domain that you would like to have is already taken, so sometimes you have to get creative. And you can also try these different extensions out and see if it's available. And then of course if you already own a domain with a company like GoDaddy or another company, then you can click this box and then proceed with the rest of the checkout process for your hosting account, and then HostGator will send you special instructions on how to link your domain name to your hosting account. But we're just going to stick with this for now, thebestonlinefarmersmarket.com. And then down here you could choose to add on these other domain extensions if you wanted to do that, but we will just stick with the .com. And then scroll down and you'll see that the package type that we have selected is the baby plan. And just to verify, you want to make sure that you've got the one that you're wanting to have. So we did want to go with the baby plan. And then the billing cycle, we're just going to pay by the month. And I like to do that because it makes it really easy to get started. And I've got a really good coupon code that's going to give you your first month for just 1 cent. So I'm going to stick with that. If you wanted to pay for multiple months, then of course you would get a better deal. And I've got a coupon code that's going to give you more than 20% off. But we'll stick with the 1 month for now, billing cycle. And then here you need to put in a username that fits the criteria specified below. And then a security pin that's at least 4 digits, 4 to 8 digits long. We'll use 1, 2, 3, 4. Then scroll down and put in your billing information. And then you can pay with a credit card or you can pay with PayPal. And make sure you put in your primary email address because HostGator will send you some very important information about your account once you register. So go ahead and fill all that out. And then scroll down and you have these hosting add-ons that a lot of times will be checked by default. And you can kind of read through these. A lot of times you don't necessarily need to start out with these different options, and you can add them later. So I usually just uncheck all these hosting add-ons. I like to get started as cheaply as possible. Alright, and then for the coupon, this code's Snappy. This is going to give you 20% off. Now I've got a code, if you're paying by the month, which we're going to do for this demonstration, the code will give you your first month of web hosting for 1 cent. And that code is WP Sculptor 1 cent. And this is a good deal for people that are going to buy just 1 month at a time. It's going to give them their first month for 1 cent, so that's good. Just click on validate. And the other code that I have is generally going to be a better deal for people that purchase multiple months at a time. And that's going to be 25% off their hosting, and that code is WP Sculptor 25. And if you clicked on validate, that would give you 25% off. But we'll stick with WP Sculptor 1 cent, and just click on validate there. And one thing I want to point out, if you do use these coupon codes, I do get a small commission for referring you to HostGator. So not only do you get a discount, but it also helps support me and helps support these videos, so I really appreciate that. Alright, and then scroll down and you can see just a review. We get the free 24/7 365 phone, live chat, and email support. Free account activation, 45 days for the money back guarantee, and I'm pretty sure you'll want to stick with HostGator, of course. And then you see that you're getting your first month for 1 cent. The normal price for the baby plan is $9.95 a month, but yours is going to be 1 cent for the first month. And then after your first month's up, you will just be billed $9.95 per month, as long as you choose to have your hosting account with HostGator. And then your domain registration is going to be $12.95, and that's going to cover you for a whole year. So that's a great deal. You don't have to worry about that for a while. And so you can see that we're just paying that plus the 1 cent. So it's only going to be $12.96 for your first month, and after that you'll be billed $9.95 a month. And go ahead and click on you've read and agree to the terms and conditions, and click on create account. Alright, give HostGator about 15 minutes or so to get your hosting account set up, and then you're going to go and check your email. After a few minutes you should have an email from HostGator from sales@hostgator.com. Go ahead and open that up. This is going to include some important account information. It's going to include your control panel login URL, which is right here, and the username that you specified, and then there's going to be an automatically generated password. So go ahead and click on the control panel link. It's going to open up in a new tab, and you'll type in the username that you put in, and then go back, and you're going to want to copy and make sure you don't get any extra characters, and make sure that you do get all the characters that are used. Copy the password that was generated automatically, and of course I've changed mine, but you'll just paste that in there. And once you have that in, click on login, and this is going to be what your control panel looks like. And the control panel is where we will install WordPress onto your hosting account. So go ahead and scroll down to the bottom, and then underneath this software/services area, click on quick install. Alright, you can see that I've already got lots of different WordPress websites installed on my account, and you can do the same if you're using the baby plan. But we're just going to click on WordPress here on the left. Yours should be empty, by the way. All this should be empty. Click on WordPress and click on continue. And right here, you should only have one domain on your account. In my case, I've got all these different domains and subdomains, and I'm going to use a subdomain, which is going to be market.quickwebsitecreation.com, but you should just have one option there, so make sure it's your domain name that you want to use for this WordPress installation. Leave this section blank, and I'm going to go ahead and uncheck Enable Auto Upgrades. Put in your email address. Give your blog a title, and you can always change this later. And a username. And your first and your last name, and then click on Install Now. When you get this message, your WordPress installation is complete, but with registering a new domain name, it takes several hours to do what's called propagating, and you won't be able to access your website until that process is complete, and that's just part of the process. One thing to note, you do want to save this password that was generated. This is going to be your WordPress administration password, so the username that you specified up here will of course be your username, and then this will be the password, and we will change this to something that you can remember, of course, when we log in. But go ahead and save that because you will need that. And then this is the link to your what's the WordPress backend. This is how you log in to make changes to your website, and it's just going to be your domain name /wp-admin. So in my case, market.quickwebsitecreation.com /wp-admin, and we'll check back here in a moment. Alright, after a couple of hours, it's time to open up a new tab and see if our website's available. So I'm going to open up a new window here. And when you can type in your domain name, so in my case it's going to be market.quickwebsitecreation.com. And when you get a page that looks something like this is what a brand new WordPress installation looks like. So, and this is the 2014 theme, the default theme that comes with a WordPress installation. Of course, we're going to change this up entirely and use a completely different theme. But when you get this page, you know you're ready to go to work on your website and your domain has propagated. So what you want to do is go back and you want to grab the password that was given to you. And remember, the username that you typed in up here is going to be the same username. So copy that password. And we can either click on this link, or we can go to our domain /wp-admin, and that's going to be the login page. And you're just going to use that username and password to log in, and this is going to take you to the back end of your WordPress website, which is where all the changes will be made. So type in that username, and I'm going to paste in that password and click on login. Alright, so this is what a brand new WordPress installation looks like from the back end. And just so you know, I am using the latest version of WordPress, but if you happen to install WordPress and you have a message up here at the top that says there's an update available, go ahead and follow the instructions to take care of that. And since we don't have to do that, let's jump right in, and the first thing we'll do is take care of a few housekeeping items. Go ahead and go to Plugins and click on Installed Plugins. And down here you see this plugin called WP Super Cache. I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that and delete that. And the reason we're going to do this is because in the past I've noticed that this plugin, sometimes for some users, they won't see their changes made to the site right away, so that's not ideal when you're developing your website. And also with the e-commerce plugin we're going to use called WooCommerce, there seems to be some conflicts going on, so we're going to go ahead and just remove this plugin. Go ahead and click on Deactivate. And you can always reinstall this later if you choose to do that. So once you deactivate the plugin, then you have the option to delete it. So click on Delete. And click on Yes, delete these files and data. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is change our password from the automatically generated password to something we can actually remember. So go ahead and hover over Users and click on All Users. And click on your username there. You can click Edit or the username. And then if you scroll down, there are two places to put in your new password, so go ahead and type those in and make sure, of course, that they are the same. And then click on Update Profile. Alright, and from now on, after we log out, when we log back in, we'll be able to use our username and our new password. And then the next thing I want to take care of, go to Settings and click on Reading, or click on General actually. We'll take care of the reading settings later on. For the site title, just give your website a title. In this case, we're just going to call it Farmers Market, or The Farmers Market. And for the tagline, you definitely want to get rid of the default Just Another WordPress Site tagline. And in my case, I'm going to say Welcome to the Online Farmers Market. Alright, and all these other settings should be just fine the way they are. So scroll down and click on Save Changes. It's very important to save every change that you make when developing a WordPress website. The next thing we're going to do is download and install the free theme called My Style from Woo Themes. And to do that, I'm just going to open up a new tab and go to woothemes.com. What's great about the My Style theme is that it is very compatible with the e-commerce theme from WooThemes that we're going to use called WooCommerce. To install this, hover over Themes, click on View Themes, and then if this box is not dropped down, click on Search to bring down these options, and then you're going to click the box next to Free and come over here to the right and click on Search. And this My Style theme is the one you want to use, so click on that. Just click on the picture there. And then if you come over here to the top right, click on Free Download. And then you're going to want to add this to your cart. Now if you don't have an account with WooThemes, which you probably don't if this is your first experience, then you're going to have to sign up for an account. And I've actually already got this added to my cart, so you have to sign up for an account. And when you sign up for an account, you'll be able to view your cart. And up here in the top right, your name will be there, and then right below that will be an option to download your products. So you would want to check out with this product, and of course it's free, so you won't have to pay anything. So you would click the Checkout Now button, and then that would be added to your list of products, and you would be able to click on this link, download your products. And then you can see that the My Style theme is showing up, and then you would click on Download. And you definitely want to save this somewhere on your hard drive where you can find it. Don't open it up on your hard drive, and the reason for this is because this is a .zip file, and oftentimes if you try and open a .zip file on your computer, it'll try to unzip the file, and the file must be a zipped file for WordPress to be able to read it. So just download the .zip, the original version. I've already done that, so I'm not going to worry about this step. And once you have this downloaded, you're going to go back to the back end of your site, and you will go to Appearance and click on Themes, and we're going to click on Add New. And I do want to point out one of the wonderful features of WordPress is that there are literally thousands and thousands of themes to choose from. Many of them are free, and you can actually use the section right here in your back end to browse through different themes if you wish to. You can browse by featured, by popular, and there's a wonderful search filter. It's called the feature filter. You can click on that, and you can specify certain things that you want in a WordPress theme and look through the different options and click on Apply Filters, and it'll pull up a list of all the themes that are available that fit those criteria. But we're just going to stick with the My Style theme since it does work really well with the e-commerce plugin we're going to use. So I'm going to click on Upload Theme since we're going to upload this from our hard drive. And of course it's asking for a .zip file. So click on Browse and find that file on your hard drive. It'll just be called mystyle.zip. Click on Open, and then click on Install Now. Alright, after the theme is installed, click on Activate to activate the theme, and this is going to replace the 2014 default theme with the My Style theme. Alright, and now that we have our new theme activated, to switch back and forth between the front end and the back end of our site, you can click on this button right here, and this is what the front end of our website looks like now. Looks completely different because we're now using the My Style theme. And of course we're going to change this up completely, but while we're here I want to point out that this is the admin bar, and this will only display if you're logged in. So if we logged out, to log out, you would hover over your username there and then click on Log Out. And if we just went to our domain name without going to the back end, so just your domain name, you can see that we have the front end of our site and we don't have the admin bar. And to log back in, you would do your domain name /wp-admin and use your same username and your new password to get taken back to the back end. The next thing we'll do is install the plugin that we're going to use for our e-commerce functionality, and that's another one of the great things about WordPress is that there are also thousands of plugins available, and many of those are free as well, including the one we're going to use for e-commerce. And basically plugins just give you the ability to add additional functionality to your website. So there will literally be a plugin for just about everything you can imagine. And to install a new plugin, you're going to go to Plugins and click on Add New. And we're going to search the WordPress directory for the WooCommerce plugin. So type in WooCommerce. That's just one word, and click on Search Plugins. And it should be this top option here, WooCommerce Excelling E-commerce. It's definitely going to be the one by Woo Themes. And just click on Install Now. Click on OK. And after the plugin is installed, you definitely have to activate it. So click on Activate Plugin. All right, and now here you get a message right away that says welcome to WooCommerce, and you need to install your WooCommerce pages. Another way to access this is to hover over WooCommerce and scroll down and click on Settings, and you get that same message right here. So go ahead and click on Install WooCommerce Pages. All right, and basically what that does is it installs the pages necessary for a fully functioning e-commerce website. So you have your shop page, so all your products will automatically be added to your shop page. Your users will have an account page. All those pages, those types of pages are created for you automatically. All right, the next thing we're going to do is go back to the WooCommerce settings. So hover over WooCommerce and click on Settings again. And under the General tab, you're going to set your base location. In my case, I'm going to choose Colorado in the United States. And then your selling locations, this is where you specify who you want to sell to. And just to keep things simple, I'm just going to choose to sell to specific countries only and just do the United States, just for the purposes of this tutorial. And scroll down and make sure you set your currency. So in my case, it's going to be the dollar, and that's US dollars. And then you can play with these options if you need to. Most of the time the default will work fine. And then you're going to scroll to the bottom and make sure and click on Save Changes so that these changes take effect. And the next thing I want you to do is click on the Checkout tab and just make sure that the default setting is checked. It should be. You definitely want to enable the use of coupons. At least in my case, I want to demonstrate how to use coupons. So enable that and then enable guest checkout. And you can see there it just allows customers to check out without creating an account. And then of course, if you did have to change anything, you would scroll to the bottom and click on Save Changes there, but we did not have to change anything. All right, and let's go over here to the Accounts tab. Click on that and scroll down. And you want to make sure Enable Registration on the Checkout page is selected, so that gives the customer the option to register. And also, let's check Enable Registration on the My Account page, and let's save the change. And what this is going to do when your customers click on the My Account tab that we're going to have on our navigation menu, they'll be able to register for an account. And they'll also need that if you choose to enable comments. For example, if you have a blog post and you choose to enable comments on that blog post and your customer wants to comment, they'll need an account to do that. So that's where they can register for an account on the My Accounts page. And of course, we'll go over comment settings later in the video. After that, click on the Products tab. And this is a very, very important step to do. A lot of people have trouble with this step, and that is your images, your thumbnails. So scroll down to the bottom. And what happens for a lot of people, their thumbnails or their images that they use for their products turn out blurry on their website, which is absolutely no good, and you want to do everything you can to prevent that. And so what happens is the default thumbnail settings with the WooCommerce plugin may differ from the settings of the theme that you're using. Now with the My Style theme, and after doing some trial and error, I figured out that the catalog images need to be larger, the thumbnails need to be larger, and the single product images need to be larger. So we're going to go ahead and change those settings. And one thing to know about images before we do this, you can always make images smaller. So if you upload a really large image, WordPress and the WooCommerce plugin can crop that image down to these specified settings. As long as your image is larger than these settings, you won't lose quality. But if you upload an image that's smaller and you try and have WordPress or WooCommerce make your images larger for the thumbnails, you're going to lose quality that way. So general good practice is to use larger images for when you upload your images to WordPress, and then let WordPress crop it down. So for the catalog images, we're going to use dimensions of 220 by 220. And then for the single product images, we're going to change this to 500 by 500 pixels wide and tall. So just type those in there. And another thing you do need to be aware of is these are square dimensions. So if your images are not square or very close to square, you may need to play around with different proportions here. And you know, sometimes you might have images that are rectangular, and it might get cropped and not show the whole product. So you definitely want to be aware of that. So after you make these changes, click on Save Changes to apply those. And I'm going to scroll back down while I discuss one more issue. If you do find that your images are turning out blurry and you have to come back to this page, to this setting under the WooCommerce settings, under the product tab, then you will have to make these changes, but it won't apply to the thumbnails you've already created. It will only apply to the thumbnails that to the product images that you add after you make the change. So what you would have to do is, if you read this right here, it's suggesting the use of a plugin called Regenerate Your Thumbnails, and the plugin is actually called Regenerate Thumbnails. So to use that plugin, if you have to make a change there after you've already added products, you would go to Plugins, click on Add New, and you would search for Regenerate Thumbnails, and it should be the first one that pops up. You would just install this, and then you would activate it. And after this plugin was activated, if it were activated and installed on your site, you would go to Tools, and there would be a Regenerate Thumbnails option. You would click on that, and it would take you to one more page, and then you would just click on a button on that page that says Regenerate Thumbnails, and that should fix the problem. So right there, that's a big issue. It's going to save you a lot of headache. And just to be clear, you would use the Regenerate Thumbnails plugin only after you made changes to your thumbnail image dimensions under the WooCommerce settings. So you would do the WooCommerce setting thumbnails first, and then you would regenerate your thumbnails so that the old ones take on the new dimensions. Alright, now let's take care of some basic theme settings for the My Style theme, and to access those, hover over My Style and click on Theme Options. And just so you're aware, almost all WordPress themes will have their own set of theme options, and oftentimes you can access that by the title of the theme, just like we did with the My Style theme, or you might have to hover over Appearance, and there might be an option that says Theme Options. It just depends. Different themes do it different ways. But all we're going to do right now with the My Style theme options is scroll down, click on the Layout options, and I'm going to check this box to wrap the site content inside a frame, and I'm going to change the main layout to a right sidebar layout. So I'm just going to click that box, scroll down, and click on Save All Changes. And basically what we're doing by enabling the box layout is that's going to set us up later when we add our background color to our website. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do that, so you need to have that checked to have a background. And then the main layout, I just changed it from the left sidebar to the right sidebar layout just because that's a personal preference of mine. You can do it either way, and I will discuss that later in the video as well when we get into detail with widgets and widget areas. Alright, now let's view the pages that we have created on our site already by going to Pages and click on All Pages. And you'll see we've got most of these pages were created automatically when we generated our e-commerce pages. And we've got this sample page, and WordPress will come with a sample page and a sample blog post by default. And we'll go ahead and delete the sample page. And to delete a page, just hover over it and click on Trash. And that doesn't permanently delete it. We can always go to our trash folder, hover over it, and click on Restore to restore that page. But that will get it off the list here. Now, to add a page in WordPress, we're going to start out with our About page. To add a page, you're going to go to All Pages, or go to Pages, and click on either Add New there, or since we're already on this screen, we can click on Add New here. This is going to add a new page. and we're going to call this About. This is going to be our About page. And what I want to discuss here, with WordPress, you've got the visual editor, and if you click on this icon that toggles the toolbar, it brings down quite a few more options there. Basically, the visual editor functions much like a word processor would. You can format text, and I'll show you how to do that. You can create bullet lists and all kinds of cool stuff with that. And what's really neat, the visual editor actually writes out the HTML code for you. So you can work with it with the visual editor, and then when you switch over to the text editor, that's where you'll actually see the HTML code. And we're going to use the text editor when we actually use some HTML code when we embed a YouTube video. But we'll get into that here in a moment. Let's start out with the visual editor. And make sure this icon is selected so that you have these other formatting options. And the first thing we're going to do is add an image to our About page. And to get all of my images for this mock website, there's a website that I highly recommend in most of my other videos as well. It's called pixabay.com. So go ahead and open up pixabay.com in a new window. And Pixabay is a wonderful resource for free stock photos, free high quality stock photos. And what's really awesome is you don't even have to leave any attribution to the original photographer. You can just use these images completely for free. And what I like to do is just search for the images I'm looking for. So in this case, I'm going to search for Vegetables Farmers Market and click on the search icon. Now I do want to point out these top row images are sponsored images from Shutterstock, so you would have to pay for these top row images, and there may be some other places throughout the site that have these sponsored images, but the bulk of the images that you'll see are available. The one I want to use is right here, so I'm going to click on that image, and then to download this image, all I have to do is click on the image, and then I have all these different size options. And like I discussed earlier in the video when we went over the thumbnail settings for our product photos, it's always best to start out with a large original image file, because you can always scale it down without losing quality. So I generally almost always get the 1280 by whatever the other whatever the height is. Sometimes the height varies, but usually you'll have a 1280 pixel wide option. So I usually download that one. So I'm going to click on download. And if you have an account, you don't have to do this step, but otherwise you would just have to type in the CAPTCHA. So I would just type in 900 and then I would click on download, and I would save this file somewhere on my hard drive where I knew where I could find it. But I've actually already got all of my images downloaded, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, once you have your image downloaded, go back to your back end, and to add an image to your page, click on Add Media and click on Select Files. And I'm going to find this on my hard drive. And this is going to be that image right there, and you can see it's the 1280 pixel wide image. So click on Open. Alright, and now I'm going to edit this image because I don't want this image showing up full size. Actually, just a fraction of that size. 1280 pixels wide is pretty large image, larger than you would usually want on your site. So I'm going to click on Edit Image, and I'm going to scale this image down by clicking on the 1280, and I'm going to make it 300 pixels wide. That's going to automatically put in the height for me. And then I'm going to click on Scale. WordPress has gotten really good with some recent updates about scaling images and working with media files. Alright, once I've got that taken care of, I am going to click on Back, and you can see now that we've scaled it, we've got the 300 pixel wide image. And then right here, you can fill out these sections, and basically you just want to put in a description of what the image is about. And the reason you would want to do this is because search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo, they can't, obviously they're not able to see pictures, so you can give images a description, and it helps search engines figure out what the pictures are about. So that's just a good practice, a good search engine optimization practice, but we won't worry about that for the purposes of time. And then right here for the alignment, I want to align this image to the left because I want to have text to the right of this image. And by doing this, that enables me to do that. And for the link, this is where you decide whether or not you want people to be able to click on your image and be taken somewhere else. By default, it's left on the media file. That would just open the picture up in a different tab. We don't want to do that. We're actually going to set this to none. We're not going to make it a link to anywhere, so it's not even going to be clickable. But if you did want to link it to another web page or another URL, you could click on Custom URL, and you could go to the web page that you want it to link to, and you could copy and paste the URL. For example, if we wanted it to be google.com, we could go to Google and just grab this URL right here, copy that, and come back in and paste it in there. Just make sure you don't have HTTPS in there twice, and we could just leave that, but we're not going to worry about having a URL for this image, so we're going to set that to none. And for the size, we're going to use the full size, which is now the 300 pixel wide image because we've scaled it down. And then we're going to click on Insert into Page. Alright, and that's going to put it there. And because we aligned this image to the left, we are able to put text to the right of the image, so it wraps around the image. If I start typing here, you'll see that the text appears at the top right there. Now, one thing I do want to point out, and something that quite a few of you might run into, is with the visual editor, sometimes it can be a little fickle, especially when you're working with images and text and trying to align them a certain way. So if you run into a situation where you don't have the cursor showing up where you want it to, in other words, if the cursor was over here on this side of the image or down here, and you did want it to be on this side, simply click on the text editor and just go to the very end of the HTML code, which is going to be right here. Just click there and go back to the visual editor, and that will reset it for you right there. And while we were at the text editor, I just want to point out this is actually HTML code that the visual editor wrote for you. And this HTML code, all it does is refer to that image. So that's pretty cool. And we'll come back to that when we embed a YouTube video. But let's go back to the visual editor. Just click there to make sure my cursor's aligned next to the image. Good. All right, the first thing we're going to do is add a heading. And for that, we're just going to call this heading Welcome to this e-commerce website. I'm just going to paste that in there. And to make this a heading, right now by default it's set to a paragraph text. I'm just going to highlight it, and I'm going to click on where it says paragraph, and that's going to drop down these options, and I'm going to change it to a heading 2, and this is going to make it much larger and bolder. Alright, I'm going to click there and push enter, and now I'm going to add some paragraph text. I've already got that typed out here. I'm just going to copy and paste this in. Alright, and then I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to add another heading, but this time I'm just going to make it bold, and this is going to be the heading for my bullet list that I'm going to show you how to do. So I'm going to copy that, paste that in, and then highlight it, and just click on the bold icon. Alright, come click there, push enter again, and then I'm going to copy and paste my list items in, and just click enter and do these one at a time. One more there. Alright, to make these bullet list items, I'm going to highlight them. And then I have a bullet list or a numbered list. And a bullet list would just be the bullets, and you can't really see, it might be difficult to see anyway. There's actually bullets that are showing up on the image, and this is just one of the quirky things with the visual editor. On the website, it won't be that way at all. In fact, this text, the bullet list, is actually going to fall below the picture just because the paragraph text is going to be so long. But we could also make this, if I highlighted it again, we could make it a numbered list instead by selecting that, and these bullet list items would be numbered, but we'll stick to a bullet list. And now I'm just going to publish this page. Alright, now to view a page once you've created it in WordPress, after you've published it, you can click View Page here, or View Page here, or you could just go to the front end of your site and find it. Now, we're in a situation where our pages are automatically being added to our navigation menu, So I can just click on this icon here, and you can see that all the pages that we have are automatically being added to our main navigation menu. And this is a thing with a lot of WordPress themes. A lot of themes do this. And eventually we'll set up our custom navigation menus. We actually have a spot for a menu here as well, and we want to have complete control over what pages are showing up in those menus and what order they're in, and we might want to drop down. So we're going to create all that later, but for now just know that the pages are automatically added to the menu. So I can click on About, and that's going to take me to my About page. And you can see here we've got the cropped image, the title of the page, we've got my heading, and then I've got the paragraph, and then we've got the bold text that goes above the bullet list. And I'm going to go back and add a space to drop this down so it looks a little more flush with the bullet list. So to do that, I can go back to my back end by clicking, and I can actually go back to the page editor for this page by clicking on this little box right there, Edit Page. And I'm just going to go down and click next to my paragraph and just press Enter. And then I'm going to update the page. And I'm going to click on View Page to make sure that change took effect. And there you go. You can see that it's now below the picture. Another thing you need to be aware of, this Edit option, if you clicked on that, it would be the same button, the same link as this right here. So it would take you back to the page editor. And that's only going to show up just like this admin bar, only if you're logged in. So that's not going to show up for your users. Now let's go back and let's click on that button, and let's go back and add a YouTube video below our bullet list. So I'm going to click on that to be taken back to the page editor for the About page. Alright, now I'm just going to click at the bottom here and press Enter twice so that it's not going to be a bullet list. And then I'm going to switch over to my text editor. And actually we could have just gone to the text editor anyway and just clicked Enter to get to the bottom of this text. And this is where we're going to copy and paste in the HTML code that YouTube is going to get us. To embed a video on your website from YouTube, open up YouTube in a different tab, and you just find the video that you're looking for. I'm going to search for Farmers Market. And this is the video I'm going to embed just for demo purposes. So I'm going to click on that video to open it up. I'm just going to click to pause it there. And to embed this, to get the code, click on the Share tab, scroll down a little bit, and click on Embed. And then you have several different size options if you click on the box next to video size. And I'm going to go with the 640 by 360 option. You can experiment with different options, and that'll change this code up slightly if you choose a different option. And then you can choose to select these. That will give you some more customization if you want to do that, and that will change the code for you, but we'll just stick to the default. I'm going to copy this, and be sure and get all of the code. You have to have every character that it gives you, and then go back to your page editor, and making sure you are in the text editor. That's very important. You have to be in the text editor for this to work, and make sure you're at the bottom of all the other HTML code. I'm just going to paste that in, and then I'm going to click on Update to update the page. And now when I view the page on my front end and scroll down, you can see that we have embedded a YouTube video, and you can click and play that on your site. And I do want to point out, if you do click on the Edit button to be taken back to the page editor, if you needed to edit this image, you can click on it and you could remove it, or you could click on this icon here and be taken to some additional image editing options. Alright, now let's create our contact form page. And first we need to set up our contact form, and what's really neat with the My Style theme, it comes with a built-in contact form. So go to My Style and click on Theme Options. And scroll down and click on Contact Page. And that's going to take you to the contact information. The first thing you want to do is put in your email address. And this is the email address that when people fill out the contact form on your website and submit it, a copy of that form will be sent to the email address you provide. And then another option you have, if you check this box to enable the informal panel, that's going to drop down all these options. If you fill these options out, your location name, your address, your telephone number, fax. Whatever you fill out, that's going to show up on your contact page as well, only if you have it enabled. If you don't want to enable it, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to uncheck that and make sure you scroll down and save the change once you've added your email. And then if you have the subscribe and connect, if you had that set up, you could enable that here. And of course, you would need to go in and set that up in this section here. We're not going to worry about that either. We're going to keep it pretty simple. But the next thing we need to do is create our contact page, and that way we'll actually be able to add this form to that page. So go to Pages and click on Add New. And we're going to call this Contact Us actually. And all you have to do to make this contact form page is go down under Page Attributes, and if for whatever reason, if you're not seeing page attributes, go to Screen Options and make sure Page Attributes is checked there. And then you can minimize that, and that should pull that up. And for under Template, click on where it says Default Template and change that to Contact Form. And then publish this page. And if we view this page by clicking here, it takes us to the front end. And you can see we now have a nice contact form where people can input their name, email, and their message, and they can submit that. And if for whatever reason you were using a different WordPress theme that did not come with the contact form, I highly recommend a plugin called Contact Form 7. So just search for that in the plugin directory. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is create our first product, and to do that, let's go back to the back end. And you're going to click on Products, click on Add Product, and you want to give your product a name, and for this one we'll create the Fuji apples. And then right here, this is where your long description is going to go. So I'm just going to copy and paste in the long description that I have. Just paste that in there, and then scroll down. And you'll see a place for your short description. So you want to paste in the short description, or write in a short description. And by the way, if you're not seeing that option for the short description or any of these other options, make sure that under your Screen Options tab that those options are checked. You definitely want all of these checked, the same ones that I have. Alright, and then we're going to scroll down, and this is where we input our product data. The first thing we're going to do is leave the product type at simple product. We're going to create a variable product later on, so we'll go over that, but for now let's just leave that at simple product. And inventory, in this tab, this is where you would decide if you wanted to use inventory management, so you could keep up with your inventory and be alerted if certain things were about to run out of stock, but we're not going to worry about that. And actually go back to the general tab, and to add the price of the product, you would just put that in the regular price box, and we're going to give this one, the Fuji apples, a price of 15. And then for the shipping options, we're going to leave that at the default options, and we're going to set up our shipping later on in the video. And we'll go over linked products later in the video. For attributes, we'll do that when we get into a variable product. And for advanced, this is where you can decide if you want to enable reviews or not, and we'll just check that so you can see what reviews look like on the front end of your site. And then we need to come up here and under the product categories section, click on Add New Product Category. And categories are a great way to keep your store very organized, and it's great for your usability of your online store. You want your customers to be able to easily find the products that you have, and you want it to be very organized for them. So we're going to give this 2 categories actually. The first one will be produce. So that's going to encompass all of our fruits and vegetables. So type that in there and click on Add New Product Category. That's going to add it to our list, and it's going to be checked. And then the other product, of course, will be fruit. So type that in and click on Add New Product Category again. And now next time we create another product, we'll have these options to choose from automatically. So we'll be able to check or uncheck if we want them in those products. And let's scroll down, and you want to add a featured image for every product that you create. This is going to be the main image associated with that product. So click on Set Product Image. And I've got all of my images, all of my product images on my hard drive right now, so I'm going to upload the file. Click on Select Files, and they're all in my product images folder. And I'm going to grab this Fuji Apples image right there, and you can see it's the 1280 pixel image there, one of the larger image choices from Pixabay. Click on Open. I'm not going to worry about this search engine optimization. I'm just going to click on Set Product Image. And then another really great feature with the My Style theme and the WooCommerce plugin, you can have a product image gallery. And to add images to your product gallery, this is completely optional, and we're only going to add images to the gallery for the Fuji Apples page just to demonstrate how that's done. Click on Add Product Gallery Images, and click on Upload Files. Click on Select Files. Again, these are on my hard drive, and I'm just going to click on the Fuji Apples 2 JPG file, and then I'm going to click Shift and click on Fuji Apple 3, and that's going to select both of them. And then click on Open. And again, that was just holding Shift down on my keyboard when I selected the other one. And then I'm going to click on Add to Gallery because both of those are going to be automatically checked once you upload them. Click on Add to Gallery. And we're going to scroll up to the top and click on Publish. Alright, and one more thing I do want to point out before we view our product page for the Fuji Apples product. The long description section, it is obviously done within the visual editor, and so you can use this just like you would when we created our About page. You can add images, you can format your text, you can do all of that same type of stuff, and the same thing applies to the short description. You also have the visual editor to work with, and of course if you needed the text editor for either one of these to add HTML code, you can do that as well. Alright, let's scroll up and click on View Product. This is going to take us to the front end of our site, and you can see here we've got our featured image here, the main product image, and then if we scroll down we've got our image gallery, and when you click on the image gallery you can flip through all of the images including the featured image. And another reason that I really recommend using larger, higher quality photos to begin with when you upload your images is because you have the option within your gallery to click on this button, and that's going to open it up to the full-size version. So you can see a much larger version of each of the images if you uploaded a larger version to begin with. And then we can click there to exit out of that. And then another thing, you have the product title, you have the price, and then you see this is the short description, so it's actually going to show up at the top here. And you have the categories that we added, the fruit and the produce category, and I could actually click on these and be taken to a list of all the products within those categories. But since these are the only products, or this is the only product within those categories, we're not going to worry about that right now. This is where the long description would go. And then if you enabled reviews, then this is where your reviews would be. And another thing I want to point out, I'm going to right click on this image and I'm going to view the image, and I want to point out that this is a 500 by 500 pixel image, and that's because we changed our product thumbnail settings to display the 500 by 500 rather than the default 300 by 300. Now if we go back, I'm going to grab a tool that I have downloaded on my Firefox browser called Measure It. And if I click and measure the length of this image, you can see it's right about 500 pixels wide, and if I do the same for the height, it's about 500 pixels tall, a little bit shorter, but just about that. If we would have left the default, it would have taken a 300 by 300 pixel image and stretched it to fit these dimensions, so it would have actually been blurry, and that's exactly why we made that change in the beginning of the video. And if we come over here and click on the link to the shop page, go ahead and do that. I want you to see that that product is automatically added to our shop page, and every other product that we create will also be automatically added to this page. And this image right here, if we grab our Measure It tool, you can see that it's about 215 by 220, and we specified that we wanted the thumbnail for this to be 220 by 220 instead of the default 150 by 150. So again, this is another example of where we would have lost quality had we not made that adjustment in the thumbnail settings. Alright, before we create the navigation menus the way we want them to be and set those up properly, let's add the rest of our products. And to do that, we're going to go back to the back end and follow the same steps that we did for the first product. Go to Products, click on Add Product, and the next one we'll do is the Apples product. So put in the product title. I'm going to copy and paste the description, the long description, scroll down and do the same for the short description. Then I'm going to come up, and this will be a simple product. I'm going to give this one a price of $12, and all of those other options, we're not going to worry about reviews for this product, so we won't check that box there. And then let's make sure and check that we do want this product to be in the fruit category and the produce category, just like our Fuji apples. And for the product image, I'm going to click on Set Product Image, click on Upload Files, select Files, and I'm going to grab my apples.jpg image, click on Open again. Of course, this is a larger image. And then I'm going to click on Set Product Image. Alright, and click on Publish. Then we can add a new product by clicking on Add Product, the top there. And this one will be oranges. Grab the long description, paste it in, grab the short description. For my oranges, I'm going to give those a price of $12. Actually, the regular price is going to be $13, and to make a product on sale, all you would have to do is put in a regular price and then put in a sale price. So we'll put in 12 there. And then we'll set the product image here. Upload the file. This will be our oranges image. Click on Set Product Image. And for this one, we'll check the same categories, fruit and produce. And we'll click on Publish. And I'll show you what all these products look like on the front end of our site here in a moment. And I'll show you what happens when you make a product on sale, what that looks like. Alright, let's add a new product. This one will be our green peppers. Grab the short description. Paste that in. Alright, for the price, we'll give this one a price of $10. And we want this to be in a produce category, and we're going to add a new category by clicking on Add New Product Category, and we're going to call this Vegetables. I can spell that. Click on Add New Product Category. Alright, and then we're going to add the product image. Click on Upload Files, select Files, and set that product image. Then we're going to publish the product. Alright, add a new product. Just 2 more to go. This one will be red peppers. The reason I'm doing all these products, of course, there is a reason for that. I want to show you how to do some upselling and cross-selling later in the video with these different products. So there is a purpose behind all this. I realize it is redundant. Grab my short description, paste that in, and I'm going to give these also a price of $10. All these other options will be fine the way they are, and we're going to check the produce and vegetables categories and set our product image for the red peppers. On open, and set product image, and then publish the product. Don't forget to publish these. Of course, they won't show up if you don't publish them. Alright, and then the last product we do, and this is important to pay attention to because this is going to be a variable product, so we're going to click on Add Product. Basically what a variable product allows us to do is to have one product with several different options. A common example of a variable product might be a t-shirt. For a t-shirt you might have different sizes, and you also might even have different colors to choose from. So you want to be able to have one product that encompasses all those options, and you want to be able to have different images and different prices for the different options if necessary. So for our example, we're going to use a coffee grinder. So I'm just going to type that in there as the product title. And I'm going to do the usual short and long description here. Scroll down and put in my short description. Okay, and then I'm going to come back up here to the product data section, and we're going to change this from simple product, and we want this to be variable product. And notice that the price option goes away, and this is because we have to input a price for each of the variations, so we don't have that option anymore. Alright, we're not going to worry about any of these other options for now. We're going to go to the attributes section, and this is where we create our product attributes, since there are so many different variations. So click on Add, and you want to give our first attribute a name, and our first attribute is going to be the model. And for the model, I'm going to have a premium model and a standard model. So give your attribute a name, and then for the value, come over in this box and click there to type text in, and we're going to give the first one, we're going to call it standard, and then you're going to do a space, and then hold shift on your keyboard and hit the pipe symbol, which is going to be under the delete key. That's going to give you the pipe symbol, and then hit another space, and this is what you do to separate your values. So we're going to have a standard, and then we're going to have a premium. So type in that, and you want to make this visible on the product page, and you want to use this for the variations. That's very important to make this work properly. You have to check that. And to add another one, click on Add, or actually first we need to save that. Click on Save Attributes. Okay, and then we can click this box to toggle, or click this arrow rather, to toggle that. Well, maybe it'll let us do that when we add another one. Click on Add, scroll down, and now let's see. Well, we won't worry about that. Let's click on the box under Name, and for this one we're going to give it a name of size, and then click on the value section, and we're going to do a medium, and then hit space, hold shift down and hit the pipe key under the delete key on your keyboard, and then space, and we'll do a large, and check both of these. We do want it visible on the product page, and we definitely want to use it for variations. Click on Save Attributes. Alright, and then you're going to scroll down and click on Variations, and now we want to hit Link All Variations, and this will automatically generate our variations for us. So click on that, link all variations, and click on OK. And you can see we have 4 variations added. Click on OK. That's exactly what we wanted, because now we have a standard medium, we have a premium medium, and then we have a standard large, and we have a premium large. So that's perfect. It worked all of our variations out for us. So scroll up, and for each one of these, for the standard medium, we want to give that one a price, and the price is going to go right in here. And you do have to input a price for each of these, even if they are the same. In our case, they're all going to be different prices. So for the standard medium, we're going to give that one a price of 15. And then to add an image for the standard medium variation, click on this box, making sure that this is enabled, this box is checked. Click here, and we're going to upload the file. And I'm going to grab the standard coffee grinder picture. Click on Open, and I'm going to use the same image for both of the standard models and a different image for both of the premium models. Go ahead and click on Set Variation, and then we're going to scroll down. For the premium medium, I'm going to give that one a price of $25, and I'm going to click here to add an image. I'm going to upload a file, click on select files, and I'm going to grab the premium coffee grinder image, click on open, and as soon as that loads, we'll click on set variation image. And then for the standard large, I'm going to give that one a price of $20. So it'll be a little bit more than the standard medium. So scroll down and click on the icon or that space to add an image. And since we already have it uploaded, we can just click on that. It'll put a check next to that image and click on set variation. Then scroll down, and for the premium large, we're going to do 30 for the price. Type that in there and click to add an image, and we'll select our premium image that's already added to our media library. Click on set variation image, and for the default selection, this is the one that's going to show up when someone views the product for the first time. Of course, they'll be able to look through these different options, but you want them to be able to see a product right away. So we're going to choose to just show the highest level. We're going to show the premium large version by default. And then we're going to come up and we're going to add a new product category. This one will be kitchen tools. Let's click on add new product category. And even though we added variation images, you still need to select a main product image. Click on set product image. And since my default selection is the premium coffee grinder, I'll select that image as our main product image. Click on set product image. And scroll down here and let's just click on add. Actually, we don't even have to worry about that. It already added all our variations for us. So come up here and click on publish. And now if we view this product, assuming we did everything correctly, you should have the main product image that you selected. The premium and the large is the main product image, the default, so that's good. Now when we change this, let's say we change the model, let's change it to the standard. And let's pick the medium. You can see that it changes that image for us. So the standard medium and the standard large are going to have that image. And you notice the price changed when we selected large. And then if we choose to have the premium, we've got the premium large with the premium image and the price has changed. And if we change the large to the medium, the price will drop to the price for the premium medium model. So that's a great feature that the WooCommerce plugin allows you to incorporate into your e-commerce functionality. Alright, the next thing we'll do is set up our navigation menus, and I mentioned earlier in the video that by default a lot of WordPress themes automatically display all your pages in the main navigation menu for that theme, and that is the case with the My Style theme. However, you do want complete control over what's showing up and what order things are showing up in. So to set up your menus, go back to your backend, and you're going to go to Appearance and click on Menus. And we're going to create a new menu. So click on Create a New Menu. And we're going to give this a name, and we're going to call this Top Navigation Menu. You can call it whatever you like. Just make sure you keep up with the title of it. And then click on Create Menu. And as you can see here, next to theme locations, we have a primary menu and a top menu, and different themes will have different menu options. Some themes might only have one navigation menu, some might have 3 different menus throughout the site. So we're going to start out with our top navigation menu, and we're going to go ahead and check that we do want this menu that we've given a name, top navigation menu, to be assigned to the top menu on our theme. And then we're going to add pages to our menu. So we're going to choose, you can view the most recent pages that you've created. You can click here to view all your pages. We're going to choose the About page and the Contact Us page. We want those 2 pages to be on our top menu. So click on Add to Menu after you've selected those. Alright, and then make sure that you've selected that you do want to assign these to the top menu location, and click on Save Menu. Alright, now if we go to the front end of our site, you'll see that we now have those pages added to our top menu, and we can click on those to be taken to the actual pages, just like that. Now if we want to go back to the back end and edit our main navigation menu, Go back to Appearance and click on Menus. And we're going to create a new menu here at the top. And this is going to be Main Navigation Menu is the title I'm going to give it. And then click on Create Menu. And we're going to assign this to the primary location, and that's going to override the default setting that adds every page to the primary menu and just put the menu or the pages that we select on that. So we're going to select, let's put our shop page on the menu, let's put our checkout page, let's put our cart page, and let's put our My Account page for now. So with those selected, I'm going to click on Add to Menu. Alright, and to change the order of the different menu items, all you have to do is you can drag and drop. So if I want my shop to show up first, I'm going to click and hold and drag that up to the top and release. And another trick is, let's say shop was down at the bottom. If you're having trouble with the drag and drop interface, you can click on this arrow to drop down the options, and you can click on these different options to move the menu that way. So we can click on up one, we can put it underneath the cart, which would actually make it a drop down underneath the cart, and we'll go over drop downs in just a moment. But we can also click on to the top, and that will put it to the top as well, and then click the arrow to minimize those options. You can also change the title. By default, the title of the menu item will take on the title of the page, and if we wanted the shop page to say something different in the navigation menu, we could change that here. And we would of course want to save those changes, but I'm just going to keep it to shop, and I want that to be at the top. And after my shop, I want to have my checkout page, and then after my checkout page, I'm going to do my cart page, and then my account page is going to be last. Okay, now if you did this as I mentioned earlier, and let's just save that, and I'll show you what this does. Cart is going to be a drop down menu item. When you hover over checkout, it's going to display cart. So click on Save Menu. And then we are going to view the front end of our site. And when you hover over checkout, cart displays as a child menu item underneath checkout. So let's go back, and I'm just going to use the back button on my browser to get back to this menu editing screen. And we want that to not be a drop down item. We just want it to be its own menu item. And another way to add that as a drop down underneath checkout would be to click on the arrow, and you could move it under checkout, just like that. But we're just going to do it the normal way. And then the next thing I want to do is add a product categories menu item, and I want this to actually be a drop down menu, and I want it to display all the different product categories when you hover over the product categories menu item. So since we don't have a page called product categories, what you can do is create what's called a link menu item. And if you're not seeing the link menu item available, come up here to Screen Options and make sure that is checked, and make sure all your other options are checked that I have checked. And we're just going to click the arrow next to links, and we're going to call this product categories. And for the URL, since we don't have any page created for the product categories, but we still want to have a menu item, we're going to just make this blank. And the way you do that is a little HTML code, and just delete what's there and put in the pound symbol, and that's going to allow us to have the menu item even though it doesn't go anywhere. So if you clicked on it, it wouldn't take you anywhere. It would drop down the other children items though. So we're going to click on Add to Menu. And by the way, if you wanted it to link to a page that's not on your site, you could put in a custom URL, for example google.com. We could go in and replace this with the URL for Google, but we're just going to leave it the way it is. And then we want to display our different categories underneath the product categories item, but I want to go ahead and move this, and I'm going to make this the second menu item. We don't want that, we want to scoot it over, so I'm going to scoot that over. Then click on the arrow next to categories to drop down those. And actually, this is a good thing to point out, this is referring to your blog categories, and we will set our blog up later, and we're not going to worry about using blog categories in our menu. So I'm going to push that arrow to minimize that. Come up here to Screen Options and make sure Product Categories is checked. And that's going to give us the option down there. Minimize that. Now if we click on Product Categories, all the categories that we've created when we created our products will display. So I want all of those to display as children items as a drop down when you hover over the product categories. So I'm going to select all of those and click on Add to Menu. And then I'm going to drag those underneath the product categories menu item one at a time, just like that. Alright, and just so you know, if you end up with one that's scooted over even more, what would happen is you would have a drop down within a drop down. So if you hovered over product categories, you would get these three options, and then if you hovered over the vegetables option, then it would display the kitchen tools as a drop down for the vegetables. But we want to just have them all as drop downs on their own, so we're going to keep it like that. Now we're going to save the menu. And if we view the front end of our website, you now see that our menu's changed, and when you hover over the product categories, I'm clicking on it right now, and you can see a pound symbol shows up there. It doesn't take me anywhere. It just stays on this page, but all of these items show up, and when I click on each of these individually, it will take me to a page that's got all the products within that category. So for produce, we've got all the fruits and vegetables. If I clicked on the fruit category, we'd have all the fruits. And for the vegetables, we'd have the 2 peppers. And for the kitchen tools, we'd have just the coffee grinder. Alright, now to create a page that actually would display all of our categories so that we can replace this with an actual page that you can click on and be taken to, what you're going to do is go back to the back end, and we're going to add a new page. So go to Pages, click on Add New, and we're going to call this Product Category, or Product Categories. And for the contents of the page, we're going to put in what's called a shortcode. And basically, a shortcode allows you to use different functionalities that might come included with different plugins. Oftentimes, plugins will have shortcodes that you can use. And the WooCommerce shortcodes can be accessed by going, I'm going to open a new tab and go to Plugins, click on Install Plugins, but I'm going to Control click on that, or right click if you're using a PC, and I'm going to open that link in a new tab. So it's going to open all the plugins that I have in the back end, and then under the WooCommerce plugin, click on Docs. This is going to take you to the WooThemes website, and it'll give you the documentation for the WooCommerce theme. I'm going to search the documentation for product shortcodes. Scroll down, and then you can see the shortcodes included with WooCommerce. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down, and there should be a shortcode that says product categories. There we go, right here. And this is the shortcode that you want to have. You can see that it's all contained within brackets, so just copy that whole thing. Make sure you get the brackets. I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to come back over to the other tab I have open for the page editor for the product categories page. I'm going to switch to the text editor. I prefer using the text editor when using shortcodes. I'm going to click in there, and I'm just going to paste that shortcode in. Now, this 12 right here basically would say if you had more than 12 categories, it would only display 12 of them. We want it to display as many categories as we have, and since we have less than 12, it wouldn't matter anyway. But I'm just going to remove that, keep the other symbols in, and then click on Publish. Alright, and now let's add this page to our menu in place of that other page where we used the pound symbol. So go back and go to Appearance and click on Menus. And make sure your main navigation is selected up here at the top. If your other one was selected, you would need to change that. And let's add the page we just created, product categories. Select that and click on Add to Menu. And we're going to click, hold, and drag this up to the top there, above the other one that we created. And then now we need to delete the one that we created earlier, so we're going to click on the arrow and click on Remove. And now we need to drag these individual product categories underneath our product categories menu item. just like that. And now when we save the menu and view the front end of our site, when we hover over the product categories, if we click on it this time, we're going to be taken to a page that displays all of our individual product categories. So since I have 5 products in produce, I can click on that and it's going to show me all my fruits and vegetables. Now if you notice, we don't have any images for our product categories, and you definitely want to add that if you're going to use this type of functionality. So to do that, let's go back to the back end, and you're going to go to products, click on categories, and for each one of our categories we're going to add an image that represents that category. So for my fruit, I'm going to come up here and click on the title of that, click on fruit, and I'm going to upload an image right here next to thumbnail. So click on upload, add image, and since we already have all of our images for our products uploaded to our media library, we don't have to upload them again. So I'm going to click on, for fruit, we'll use the oranges. So I'm going to click on the orange image and click on use image, and then make sure and update. And for kitchen tools, of course, we'll have to use one of our coffee grinder images. So click on kitchen tools, click on upload, add image, and we'll use the premium coffee grinder image. Click on use image, update. For produce, click on produce, upload an image. We'll use the Fuji apples image there. So click on use image. And for vegetables, we'll use the green peppers image. So click on upload, add image, and we'll just use this one right here and click on use image and update that. Now when we go back to the front end of our site by clicking there and hover over product categories and click on product categories, you'll see that we now have product category images for each of these. Alright, now that we have our menus created, let's set up our home page. And to do that, let's go back to the back end of our WordPress website. And let's go to settings, click on reading. Alright, this is where you tell WordPress which page you want to be your front page. And your front page is, of course, the page that shows up when you type in your domain name. So in my case, market.quickwebsitecreation.com. It's the page that shows up when I type that into the browser. And as you can see, by default, the front page displays is set to your latest posts. And the latest posts is going to be your blog page. Okay, that's how a WordPress installation is set up by default. Now, if we wanted to display a different page as our front page, we could select to display a static page, and then with that option selected, we could choose the front page by clicking on there where it says select. And let's say we wanted our about page to be our front page. We could choose that, and then we could save the change. And now when we view the front end of our site, it's going to take us to our home page, which is now set to the about page. Okay, so let's go back and let's change it back the way it was by going back to the back end. Go to settings, reading, and we're going to change it back to your latest posts. Now the My Style theme actually gives us additional homepage options, which can make things a little confusing, but it also gives us more flexibility. Some of those options include you can add an image with a text overlay on your homepage. You can have featured products showing up, and you can also have the option to include your blog posts on your homepage if you want to. So in order for those options to show up, though, you do have to have your front page displays set to your latest posts. That's just a requirement for the My Style theme. And since we do want to apply those My Style theme settings, we are going to leave it at your latest posts. So go ahead and click on Save Changes. And I know that may sound a little confusing, but I think you'll understand when we set those additional options up on our homepage. To access the My Style homepage options, go to My Style and click on Theme Options. Scroll down and click on Homepage, and that's going to pull up the featured image section. And if you wanted to display a banner, and we do, you're going to check this box here, and then you're going to upload the image that you want to display. Click on Upload, and I'm going to click on Select Files and upload the original, the same image that I used for my About page, but the original file. So it's going to be the large image. You can see the 1280 pixel image. So click on open. Then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm actually going to edit this image. I'm going to click on edit image. I'm going to crop this image down so that it's not nearly as tall as it is. I'm going to scroll down, and this is the editing section, and by default the crop tool will be selected, but you want to make sure if it's not that that's the tool that's selected. And then you can click, hold, and drag on top of the image, and then I'm going to release. And I'm just going to crop this image by hitting the crop tool again. And you can see that it's cropped there. Then I need to save the image. Click on save. And I don't want this image to be linked, so I'm going to select none there. And I do want it centered, so I'm going to have the centered option selected. And I do want it to be full size. So I'm going to click on use this image. Then I'm going to scroll down, and for the banner headline, I'm going to use Welcome to the Farmers Market. And for the banner stand first, I'm going to copy and paste this text in. Then I'm going to scroll down and click on Save All Changes. Alright, once you have the options updated box showing up, you're ready to move on. I'm going to click on Sidebar. And this is where you have the option to display a sidebar on your home page. And we'll go over the widgets and widget areas in just a moment. But I'm going to choose to leave those off of my home page. So I'm not going to worry about selecting that box. For WooCommerce, you have different options. You can display product categories, you can display featured products, and you can display recent products on your home page. I'm not going to display recent products, but I do want to display featured products, so I'm going to check this box. I'm going to uncheck the recent products box, and then I'm going to check display featured products, and I want to display 4. So I'm going to change that to 4, and I'm going to save the changes, and I will show you how to set up your featured products in just a moment. Alright, and then for the blog, your blog by default is set to display your latest posts on your homepage, and it's set to display your latest 3 posts. We're just going to leave that setting, and I'm going to show you what that looks like on your homepage. So with all those settings, let's go ahead and click on this to view the front end of our website. Now you can see we have our featured image showing up. We have the text that we put in for our featured banner right there. And if you scroll down, we have featured products, but we don't have any products showing up under that, and that's because we haven't made any of our products featured yet, but we will in just a moment. And then we have the sample blog post that comes with WordPress by default. And since we left that setting to display your latest blog posts on our home page, then that's showing up there, but we will change that. So let's go back to the back end and go to My Style Theme Options and click on Home Page and click on Blog, and let's uncheck that. And the reason we're going to do this is because we're going to set another page up to be our blog page. So we're going to uncheck that, click on Save All Changes. Alright, and now to make your certain products featured products, go to Products, click on Products. And all you have to do is click on the star next to each one of your products if you want it to be featured. And since we have up to 4 featured products that are going to show up on our home page, since that's the setting that we specified, we can select 4 here. So I'm just going to click on that and give it a second to load. Alright, and we'll make oranges a featured product. So I'm going to click on the star next to oranges. And we'll do Fuji apples. Click on the star next to Fuji apples. And then we'll do green peppers. Alright, now if we view the front end of our website and scroll down below the banner, we'll see all of those featured products that we just enabled, and then also we no longer have the blog post showing up. And let's go ahead and add our homepage to our top menu. You can click on the site title here to be taken to the homepage, and later when we add our logo and create our logo and add it here, you'll be able to click on that to access the home page. But I think it's always nice to have a navigation menu as well, so people don't get confused. So to do that, let's go back to the back end of our WordPress website, go to Appearance Menus, and we're going to make sure that our top navigation menu is selected. So click on that one and click on Select. And then we're just going to go from our, actually it's not going to show up as a page, so we're going to have to create a link for our home page, since we actually didn't go to Pages, Add New to create our home page. It's in there by default. So click on the links, and we're going to call this link text, we're going to say Home, and next to URL we're going to go to, I'm going to open the front end of our site in a new tab, and this is our home page. So I'm just going to copy the URL here and remove this and paste that in. And I do want to point out, if we go back to the front of it, it does put in the HTTP colon automatically for you, so make sure that's not in there twice. Okay, if that's in there twice, you need to delete the HTTP colon / and make sure it's only in there once, because it won't work. The link won't work otherwise. So click on Add to Menu, and I'm going to click, hold, and drag this above so that it's the first navigation menu item for my top navigation menu. Click on Save Menu. Now if we view the front end of our site, we have that menu item added. Alright, now we're going to set up the color scheme for our website. One thing that I want to point out, and this is an important part of how I came up with the color scheme that I did, if you hover over the Product Categories tab, you notice that you have this orange icon. Now this orange icon and this orange color is going to show up throughout the site, and that's just part of the My Style theme, so I thought it would be a good idea to come up with a color scheme that went well with that shade of orange. And to figure out exactly what color this particular orange is, what you can do is use a tool called ColorZilla, and it works for the Firefox or the Chrome browser. So I'm going to open a new tab, and you would just go to colorzilla.com and click here, and you can download either for the Firefox or the Chrome, whichever browser you're using to access this page. You can download it and follow the instructions. But since I already have that tool installed, by the way, it's going to show up as an icon that looks like an eyedropper there, or you can go to Tools, ColorZilla eyedropper to activate the tool. But I'm just going to activate that tool, and everywhere my cursor goes, it's going to tell me that exact shade that it's hovered over. And if you look up at the top, right above the cursor here, you see the pound FC, FC, FC. That's the exact color of this area. It looks white, but it's actually a slightly gray color. So everywhere I go, it's going to tell me the 6-digit hex code. That's what that's called. So if I hover over this and hover over the orange icon, I can see that it says pound FF 4800. And that's the exact 6-digit code that we're going to use to figure out what colors go well with that. So one tool that you could use, I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to color.adobe.com, and color, I think that's how you pronounce that word. It's actually K-U-L-E-R, that's how they're spelling it, .adobe.com. And what you would do is scroll down to the bottom of this page, and then in the middle section, next to where it says hex, you're going to type in that 6-digit code we got, which was FF4800, and hit tab or enter. And this middle section is going to be that exact shade of orange. And then you can come up here to the top and go to this color rule section, and you can change the rule and find all these different colors that go well with that particular color. So you could use this brown here, this green here. You could use any of these colors are going to go well with that exact shade of orange. Now, I actually used a different method for coming up with a color scheme. There's another website that I'm going to show you. It's called colorlovers.com, and in this case, color is spelled C-O-L-O-U-R. So go to colorlovers.com, and literally what I did, I went to Browse and clicked on Palettes, and I just went through this list until I found a shade of orangish red that just didn't have to be exact, but it just resembled that color. And all you're looking for, like this one could have worked if I liked these colors, but I found a palette and I'm going to type in this user's name to find the exact palette that I stumbled across. Change this to that and search. I found a palette that this guy had done. And it's this palette called Willow, and I really like this shade of orange. I thought it was close enough. That's kind of an orangish red, probably a little more red than the color on our site. So what I decided to do was use the exact shade of orange that's on our site. So not this shade, but the one on our site, and then I'm going to use this brown and this blue to go with it. So I'm going to open this palette up by clicking on it. By clicking on the title here, actually, clicking on Willow. And then I can scroll down, and it's going to give me the hex code, the 6-digit code for each one of those other colors. So I have the hex code here for the brown and the hex code here for the blue. So what I wanted to do, I wanted my background color to be this brown shade. So I'm going to copy that hex code. And I'm going to come back to the back end of my website. And to access your background color area, go to My Style, click on Theme Options, scroll down, and click on Styling Options. And right here is where you're going to put in the background color. Now, one thing to note, you do have to put in a pound symbol. So when you copied your hex code, if it didn't have a pound symbol attached to it, you have to add that. And then I'm going to paste in the hex code for that brown color that I just got, and then I'm going to click on Save Changes, and I'm going to view the front end of my site, and you can see that we now have that nice brown color for our background. Now if we go back, I do want to point out that when you go to layout options, this was a step we did earlier in the video, you do have to have this box layout option checked for your background color to show up. And if we go back to styling options, another thing I want to point out, you can use a wonderful free resource called subtlepatterns.com, and you can access really nice textured backgrounds. And if you wanted to use one of those backgrounds, you could upload that image here and then set these options. You can kind of do some trial and error and experiment with those different options. But we're just going to use a solid color for our background and just leave it the way it is. Now that we have our color scheme picked, we can create our logo. So first we're going to get an icon to use for our logo. So in a new tab, I'm going to keep my palettes tab open. In a new tab, I'm going to go back to Pixabay. Pixabay has tons of wonderful icons as well that you can use for free. And I'm just going to search for farmer and search. And then I'm going to use the filter, and where it says image type, I'm going to click on clip art. And that's going to bring up, oh, didn't mean to click on anything there. I'm going to scroll down, and this image right here is the one I wanted to use. And when you do clip art, you're going to get all the graphics that fit that category. So I liked this particular image, so I'm going to click on that. And one thing that's really good about clip art, this won't always be the case, but a lot of times you can save the graphics as what's called a PNG file, and a PNG file will usually have a transparency. So like this white, obviously this image is only black and white. The white image of this graphic will take on whatever background color it's put on. So if I put this graphic over a red background, then it would be black and red. So that's a great feature to have for your logo. You usually want it to be a transparent file. So I'm going to download this image, click on it, and I definitely want the PNG file. And in this case, I know normally I recommend using the larger images. In this case for the logo, since I don't really have a use for it being any larger than the size that it's going to be on my website, I'm just going to download the small version, so the small PNG that's 150 by 126. So I'm going to download that, and I've actually already got that downloaded, but you would just follow the instructions and download that file. And then I'm going to use actually two resources to create my logo. The first one is going to be Pixlr.com, that's Pixlr.com. So go to Pixlr.com and click on Pixlr Editor. The reason we're using two different resources for creating our logo is with Pixlr I can set up the canvas for my logo. I can add the graphic, and I can add a space to put my text. And then in the other online application that we're going to use, it's also available for free, I'll be able to open up that canvas and put text in the blank space that I'm going to create with Pixlr. So this is just the way I chose to do it. When you get to Pixlr, click on Create a New Image, and we're going to make it 400 by 400, and that should give us plenty of space. You might have to do some trial and error on your height and width, but this should give us plenty of space to work with. And then I'm going to click on OK, and this is going to be my canvas. And then I'm going to open up by going to File, Open Image. I'm going to open up that graphic that I just downloaded. So make sure you saved that to somewhere on your hard drive where you can find it. And I'm going to open that up right here, and you can see this is the 150, and in this case it's 125, but it's about the same. I'm going to click on Open. In fact, it probably was the exact same file, it just read it a little differently. So now I've got both of these opened. I'm going to drag this over here. What I'm going to do is start out with this canvas that I created. I'm going to click on the box to activate this and not have this activated. So this box is clicked, and then I'm going to come over to where it says background, and I'm going to double click on this lock symbol, and that's going to unlock that layer. And then I'm going to turn this layer off by unchecking this box, just like that. And now you can see that that white has gone. By default it'll take on a white background, but we want this to be transparent. So we're going to turn off that white background by doing what we just did there. And then I'm going to come over and click on this box here, and this is going to select this image. I'm going to go to Edit, Select All, and you can see all of that's selected. Then I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and then I'm going to click on this box here to activate this canvas and go to Edit, Paste. And what's going to happen is it's going to paste this image on top on a separate layer, which is exactly what we want. So, and make sure this is selected. If you have this selected, this won't work. Make sure layer 1 is selected. Come over here and grab the Move tool by clicking on that icon there. And now we can click, hold, and drag to move this to the top left corner. And you don't want it cut off like that. Make sure you have all of the image on there. You can leave a little bit of extra space if you need to. That looks good, and then just let go when you're ready to place that. And then what I'm going to do is crop this image and take out all this bottom section, since I'm going to put my text on this section. So to crop, choose the crop tool, and then come over here and click, hold, and drag, and then when you're ready, release that. And I might have cut off a little bit on the left, so I'm going to click on this blue box and hold and drag that over all the way to the left and let go. And I'm going to drag it, click, hold, and drag, and move it down just a little bit. Make sure it's all the way over and down just a little bit and let go. And when you're ready to crop it, click Enter on the keyboard. And now we have a nice canvas set up, so we'll be able to add text. And actually I'm going to crop a little bit more off the bottom. Crop tool still selected, click, hold, and drag, and then I'm going to move that up. Crop that, there we go. Now I can put text on this section using this other online application we're going to use, but first we need to save this. Go to File, Save, and I'm going to call this Logo Canvas. And if it's a JPEG doesn't have the ability to make a file transparent, so you're going to have this white background. So change the format. It has to be a PNG to be transparent. And then click on OK. And save this somewhere on your hard drive where you can find it. I'm going to just save it to my desktop. Alright, now that you've got that canvas saved, we're going to open up in a new window. We're going to go to picmonkey.com, P-I-C monkey.com, and I'm going to click on Edit, and then I'm going to upload that file that we just created that's got the logo and the canvas, so it's got room for us to put some text. Click on that and click on Open. Alright, and another reason I'm using PicMonkey is because I really like the way it works with text. I like the font choices that they have, and I just think it's a really quality free online application to use. So once you have this opened up, to add text, click on the text tool here and click on Add Text. And once you do that, come over here and hover over this box, click, hold, and drag this up. We're going to put it right there, and then I'm going to click, hold, and drag on this bottom right circle to make this a little bit larger. And then I'm going to click inside the box to add actual text, and this first line is just going to be the, and I'm going to come over here and choose a font, and I'm going to use this font called Chelsea Market. And for that font to take place, actually I need to click out of the text area by clicking this gray section out here, and then click the box again, and then click Chelsea Market. And then I can come over here, and the size that I'm going to use is going to be 44, and since that's not an option there, I'm just going to select that and type in 44 and press the enter key. And then for the color, I'm going to come back, and actually I'm going to make I'm going to make it the same orange that's on my website. So with that selected, I'm going to come over here to color and change that to FF 4800 and hit enter. That's going to change it to that orange shade by using that hex code. And then I'm going to click, hold, and drag this to the middle. We'll probably move this around some more, and then click out here to get out of that. And then let's add another text layer by clicking on add text, and click, hold, and drag this down here. Click, hold the circle to stretch that out, and click in the box to add text. Let's add farmers. And I'm going to click out of here and then click that again and change the font to Chelsea Market, and go over here to change the size to 44, hit enter. And this time we're going to make this the farmers, we're going to make that the blue shade that we want. So let's go back to our color palette, and let's select the hex code and copy and paste that right here. Make sure this farmers the box is selected, and we'll paste that in there and hit enter. That looks pretty good. And then come over here and click on add text. We'll drag this down and stretch it out there, and double click to access the box and type in market. Then we'll click out of there, click market, change that to Chelsea Market. Come over here again, change the size to 44, press enter, and this time we're going to use the brown shade that we used for our background. So copy that hex code, come back over and paste that hex code in, and press enter. Alright, and now we just need to center all of these. We'll start with farmers since that's the longest text item. We'll get that right about there. And then we'll click on market and then drag that, click, hold, and drag that over here. And then for the, we'll click on the, and that looks pretty centered. And I'm just going to click out there to get out of that. Actually, I'm going to click on market and use the arrow keys on my keyboard to fine tune this. Click on market, farmers, use the arrows on my keyboard. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now the next thing we need to do is actually crop this image. When we made our canvas using Pixlr, I made sure there was plenty of room for us over here. So let's crop this down so we can get rid of this dead space. And to do that, we're going to come over here, select this tool, and then select crop, and then automatically generates a crop box. I'm going to click, hold, and drag this to the top left, and then I'm going to click, hold, and drag on top of that circle and just select the full image there right at the end of the text. And then when you get that the way you want it, come over here and click on apply, and then you're going to go to save, and you want this to be a PNG file, so make sure that's set to PNG, and click on save to my computer, and we're going to save this as logo, or we'll call it Farmers Market logo. And we'll just save this to my desktop. Click on save. And then to add this to your website, go back to the back end, and let's go to General Settings, and in this box, Custom Logo, click on Upload, click on Select Files, and find that file on your hard drive. We saved it to my desktop. Click on Open. Scroll down, and we don't want this to be a link. Actually, we do want it to be a link, but it's going to do that automatically and link to our home page. So we're just going to say none anyway, and it's going to work the way we want it to. And we're going to say alignment none. We definitely want it full size. Click on Use this image. And then for text title and site description, we need to turn those off for this custom logo to appear. So we're going to uncheck those boxes. And then we're going to come up here and click on Save All Changes. And now when we view the front end of our website, we have our nice new logo in place. And you can see that that color scheme goes really well with this orange here and the brown that we have for our background. And just so you're aware, if we're on a different page, let's say we're on our product categories page, if we click on the logo, it is automatically set to take us back to the home page. Alright, now let's get into some more advanced functionality that you can do with e-commerce using the WooCommerce theme. And the first thing we'll start with is the payment processing. For payment processing, I really recommend just going with PayPal. It's the easiest way to set up your payment processing, the easiest and quickest that I know of. And also, you don't have to have any sort of security on your website, since the processing of the payments will be made through PayPal. So they handle all of that on their end. To set up a PayPal account, if you don't have one, just go to paypal.com, and you'll want to click on Sign Up in the top right there. And you can sign up using, just start your sign up process using this. And if you have a business set up, you can use this link to set your PayPal account up. And once you get your PayPal account, the email that you provide with PayPal, the email that you use to sign in, that's the same email that you'll use with the WooCommerce plugin. So we'll go back to our back end. And we'll go to WooCommerce and click on Settings. And click on Checkout. And by default, if we scroll down, you'll see we've got all these different options that come with the WooCommerce theme by default. And the default setting is to have the direct bank transfer, check payment, and PayPal all activated. We're just going to use PayPal, so I'm going to deactivate these other two options. You can see that they're activated with the check mark here. To deactivate these, I'm going to scroll up to the top, and the first one is direct bank transfer, so I'm going to click on BACS, and I'm going to uncheck the enable bank transfer box there, and then scroll down and click on Save Changes. And if I go back to my main checkout options page, scroll down, you can see that the direct bank transfer is no longer enabled, and I'll do the same with check payment. Scroll up, click on check, uncheck that, and click on Save Changes. And then we'll go back to our checkout options, scroll down, and make sure PayPal is enabled, and it should be. And actually, scroll up to the top, we've got to go adjust our PayPal settings anyway, so click on PayPal. And like I said, you want to make sure this is enabled. And scroll down, and right here, this is where you put in your PayPal email address. And I'm just going to use an older PayPal account email address that I have right there. And then right here, the receiver email, this should be the same as your main email address, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. If you hover over the check mark, it says if this differs from your email entered above, and it should not. So then scroll down, and all these other default settings that are left unchecked, that should be the way you want yours. Click on Save Changes. Alright, now that we've added our PayPal email address, I'm going to go to the front end of our website and walk you through the checkout process as it is right now before we add any tax or shipping settings. I'm going to go to my shop page, and let's say I wanted to purchase a coffee grinder, and I want the premium medium version. So it's going to be $25. I'm going to click on Add to Cart. And if I want to view my cart, I can click there. I can also click on my cart here. And I have a menu item that allows me to view my cart. Alright, so you can see I've got that added to my cart. If I scroll down, you'll notice that shipping and handling is set on free shipping. That's the default option. We will certainly adjust that so that you can pass the shipping costs onto your customers if you choose to do it that way. And we also don't have any tax yet. So I'm going to click on Proceed to Checkout. And this is where you would enter a coupon code. We'll go over that momentarily. And for the customer, they would put in their billing details. Just going to do this real quickly here just to show you what it looks like. And then if we were not logged in to the back end of our website as the administrator like we are making all these changes, then you would have the option, like for your users, for example, that weren't registered with you, they would have the option to sign up for an account, and that way they could log in and it would save all of these billing details and shipping details. And by the way, if your customer did need to ship to a different address other than the billing address, they could check this box here and fill out that. But we'll scroll down and they can review the order. It'll be the same that we saw on the previous page. There is no tax and no shipping set up yet, so those don't appear. And PayPal is the only checkout option, which is what we want. And it does have the nice message that says they can pay with a credit card if they don't have a PayPal account. And then they would just click on Proceed to PayPal. This is going to process their order and take your user to a PayPal to the PayPal's website, and it'll have a summary of the order there. And then they could either log in with their PayPal account information, or they could click here and pay with a debit or credit card. All right, let's go back. And assuming they did actually check out with PayPal and finish the process and make the payment, PayPal will send you an email to your email address that lets you know that the customer had made the purchase. And also, if you go back to your back end, since we did click on the Proceed to PayPal button, you can go to WooCommerce and click on Orders. And that order that we just placed would show up, and you can see the shipping address. So again, you'll be alerted by PayPal when a payment's received, and you'll also be alerted by the WooCommerce plugin. All right, now let's set up our tax settings, and to do that, go to WooCommerce and click on Settings, and then scroll up to the top and click on the Tax tab. All right, and we want to check the box to enable taxes. Prices entered with tax, we're going to leave that to no because we already entered our prices and they did not include tax. We're going to calculate tax based on the customer's shipping address. We're going to leave that to the default option. And for default customer address, I'm going to change that to no address. And the shipping tax class, we are going to put that on standard. We're going to have a standard tax class that we're going to set up here in just a moment. And let's scroll down to the bottom. And all these other options you can play around with if you need to. If you wanted to display prices in the shop including tax, you could choose that option. We're going to leave it as it is. Click on Save Changes. Alright, and then let's set up our standard rate by clicking on Standard Rates. And for the purposes of this video, and because I know a lot of other online businesses operate this way, it's my understanding that you don't have to charge sales tax in a lot of cases to people that live outside of the state you do business out of. So if I set this business up like I did in Colorado, only people that have an address, a shipping address or a billing address, either way you want to set that up, in Colorado would have to pay taxes. And that's the way we're going to set this up. So what I'm going to do is click on Insert Row. And for the country code, I'm going to type in US for United States. You can click here if you need to be taken to a page that shows you all the country codes. For the state code, I'm going to use CO for Colorado. And for the zip code, I'm going to leave that blank so that it applies to every zip code in Colorado. Same with the city. And for the tax rate, I'm just going to say 7.5%. And if I wanted to apply this tax on top of the shipping costs that we're going to set up here in a moment, I could leave this checked, but I'm not going to charge a tax on shipping. I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to click on Save Changes. Alright, and if we go back to our main tax options page, I just want to show you, if you did want to apply that Colorado 7.5% rate to everybody, then you can calculate tax based on the shop base address. And since the shop base address was, since we set that up in general settings as Colorado, then it would apply that tax rate that we just put in of 7.5% for Colorado. It would apply that to everyone. And by the way, if you wanted to charge tax to everybody, let's say in the United States, based on their state's sales tax rate, you would have to just input those individually. But we're just going to keep it this way and only charge taxes to people that have a shipping address in Colorado. Alright, to demo those tax settings that we just applied, I'm going to go back to the front end of my site. And I'm going to go back to the View My Cart. I'm going to scroll down, and we still haven't set up our shipping options. And the tax settings won't show up until they get to the checkout page. So I'm going to click on Proceed to Checkout. Alright, and it saved the information that I put in earlier. So we do have Colorado selected. I'm going to scroll down, and you'll see that we now have a $1.88 tax on the $25. And just to show you that that calculation is correct, if we do 7.5% of 25, it's going to be 188, just like that. And if I scroll back up, and if I changed my address and I changed the state to any other state, it's going to recalculate that, and we no longer have a tax applied. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and close out some of these windows or some of these tabs since we no longer need them. Alright, and let's go back to the back end of our site, and we're going to set up our shipping options. So go to WooCommerce and click on Settings, and you're going to click on the Shipping tab. Alright, you want to make sure that Enable Shipping is checked, because we do want to enable shipping, and then enable the shipping calculator. We're going to actually uncheck that because we're going to use flat rates for our shipping, so we don't need the calculator. And then scroll down, and you'll see that by default we have the free shipping option available, and that's what's showing up on our checkout page currently. We're going to leave that enabled, and we're also going to enable the flat rate shipping. So to enable the flat rate, go up to the top and click on flat rate, and check the box to enable that method. And then we're going to give it a different title. We're going to call it ground shipping, and that's what we'll display on our site. And if you scroll down, for additional rates, let's say we wanted to have an option where we can do 2-day shipping that's a little bit more expensive, and then an overnight shipping option that's a little bit more expensive than the 2-day. What we would do is click here in this box and type in the title of the shipping option. So in this case, the first one will be 2-day shipping, and then you're going to do a space and use the pipe symbol and put in and then we'll do another space, and then put in the additional cost of the shipping. And the additional cost, well, first of all, the original cost of the ground shipping we put in here in this box. Let's go ahead and do that now, and that's going to be $5 for just the regular ground shipping option. And then come back to the additional rates, and for the 2-day shipping, let's add $5 on top of that. So that option is going to be $5 more expensive than the ground shipping. Then do a space and use the pipe symbol again. And this is going to be per order, so I'm going to type in order, and that's going to apply to the whole order. You could do per item, and if you hover over this question mark, you can see the different options that it gives you, but we're just going to use per order. And I'm going to hit enter, and we'll add one more, and this is going to be overnight shipping, space and pipe key, and this is going to be $5 on top of that. So the overnight shipping would be a total of $15. Space, actually we need to do $10, and then it'll be $10 in addition to the $5 there. And we'll do per order as well. And if we scroll down and save the changes. Alright, now for the free shipping, let's click on that tab at the top there. And we do want to enable free shipping, but we're only going to enable free shipping for people that have a coupon code that we'll create in just a moment that is a free shipping coupon. So free shipping has to be enabled to use the free shipping coupons, but right here next to free shipping requires, we're going to select a valid free shipping coupon. So that way it only shows up for people that have a valid free shipping coupon. Now click on Save Changes. Alright, and if we go to the front end of our site and go back to the checkout page and scroll down, you'll see that we now have these other shipping options showing up, and we no longer have the free shipping option because we've set that to just apply for people that have a free shipping coupon. So they have these options. You can see the ground shipping is $5. The 2-day shipping is $5 in addition to the ground shipping $5, so $10 there, and then the overnight option is $15. And of course the tax is being applied because we do have the state set to Colorado. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens when we click on Proceed to PayPal, and we just had the ground shipping option selected there. When they're taken to PayPal, it actually itemizes all the different costs, so they can see their tax, they can see the shipping charge, and they can see the price for the items. So that's a great thing that the WooCommerce plugin does for you. Alright, let's say you have a product that requires additional shipping costs and you want to pass that cost on to the customer. You can create a shipping class for those products, then it automatically adds additional shipping costs every time one of those items is added to your cart. So let's use the example with the coffee grinder. Let's say we have to spend an additional $3 in shipping costs every time someone orders a coffee grinder. We want to pass that cost on to the customer. We're going to go back to the back end of our site. And what you would do is set up a shipping class by going to Products and click on Shipping Classes. And you will give the class a name. We'll call this Coffee Grinder Shipping. And then you need to give a slug, and basically just don't use any spaces. We'll call this Coffee Grinder Shipping using hyphens. And scroll down and click on Add New Shipping Class. Okay, now we've got that shipping class added. Let's go to WooCommerce and click on Settings. And click on the Shipping tab. And we're going to click on the Flat Rate Shipping option, since this is where we apply that shipping class. And then we'll scroll down to the bottom here. And right here, we're going to add the shipping class. First of all, change per order. We're going to do this charge shipping for each item individually. And that way, every time a coffee grinder is added to the cart, it will tack on an additional shipping cost. And we're going to select this class by clicking on Add Cost. And if you have multiple shipping classes, they'll all show up in this drop down, but since we only have the one, that's the default option. And then we're going to add the cost, and let's say we want to add $3 for each coffee grinder, so click on that. And then we're going to scroll down, and again we wanted this to be set to charge shipping for each item individually, so that every coffee grinder added to the cart is going to incur an additional $3 shipping charge. And then click on Save Changes. Okay, now that alone is not going to add that shipping class to the coffee grinder product. You have to do that as well. So let's go to Products and click on Products. And click on the coffee grinder to open up the product editor. And scroll down. And click on Shipping. And you can see by default there is no shipping class. So to set a shipping class, just click on that and choose the coffee grinder shipping class. And we're going to update the page. Update the product. And if you scroll down again, I want to point something out. Since we have 4 variations for the coffee grinder, if you click on those variations right there, and we click here to open one up, by default, the shipping class of each variation will take on the same shipping class as the parent. And in this case, the parent was set up right here. So all of our coffee grinders, all the variations will take on this shipping class. If you did want to change those shipping classes, if you had multiple shipping classes for the different variations, you could do those individually here with these options. But we want all our coffee grinders to incur an additional $3 shipping charge. So we're going to update the page, and we're going to view our front end and go to the cart page. Scroll down. Alright, and you can see we've got one coffee grinder added, and now instead of $5 for ground shipping, it's an additional $3 on top of that. And so we added $3 to each one of our shipping options by doing that. Now when we add another coffee grinder and then update the cart, and scroll down, you can see we now have $6 added to each of the shipping options. So that's a great way to pass those costs on to your customers when you do incur those additional shipping costs. Alright, now let's go over how to set up coupons and coupon codes. So to do that, go back to the back end, of course, and you're going to go to WooCommerce and click on Coupons. To add a coupon, click on the Add Coupon button here. Alright, first thing you do is put in a coupon code, and this can be anything you specify. We'll just call this, we're going to do a free shipping coupon, so I'll just do free shipping like that. And we won't worry about a description, that's an optional thing to put in. And then you have several different options for the discount type. You have a cart discount, which is going to apply a dollar value off of your entire cart, your customer's entire cart. A cart percentage discount, so you could set the value to 10, and that would be a 10% discount on the entire cart. And then you can do the same for products individually. Well, let's do a cart discount. And for the free shipping, we're not going to have a coupon amount, we're going to allow free shipping. So I'm going to click that box, and I am going to go to usage restriction. And if you wanted to create a minimum that the customer had to have added to their cart, a minimum order amount, you could set that here. So let's say the minimum order amount needs to be $25. So they have to have at least $25 worth of products in their cart for this coupon to be applicable. And then we can exclude on sale items here if you wanted to do that, and you could require that this coupon be used individually and not in conjunction with other coupons by checking that box. But we won't worry about either one of those items. We are going to exclude a product, and we don't want the free shipping coupon to be applied to the coffee grinder since the shipping is so much more expensive for that product. So I'm going to exclude that by clicking in this box and typing in coffee grinder. And it'll look for that product that we already have added. And just click on it when it finds it. And that will apply to all the variations. And you could do the same if you wanted to exclude certain categories, or if you only wanted to have certain product categories or certain products, you would put that in here. But we're going to apply it to every product but the coffee grinders. And then if we come over here to usage limits, this specifies how many times the coupon code can be used. Let's just say one time. And then we're going to publish. Alright, now I'm going to copy the coupon code and go back to the front end of my website. And we'll just go to the cart page. Scroll down. You can see we have 2 coffee grinders added. So if our coupon code is set up correctly, we set it up to not apply the free shipping to the coffee grinders. So let's make sure. And it looks like I need to go back and make sure my shipping calculator is off. I'll do that in just a moment. Alright, let's paste that coupon code in and apply the coupon. And we shouldn't see a change. If we scroll down, yep, sorry, this coupon is not applicable to your cart contents. So let's take these off and then update the cart. Alright, and let's return to the shop and add any other product. And we do have to have the minimum order amount. Let's add 2 orders of the Fuji apples. Click on Add to Cart. And now if we view the cart, scroll down and add that coupon code again. Click on Apply Coupon. Scroll down. You now see that we have the free shipping option available. Alright, let's go back to the back end and turn off the shipping calculator since we don't want that to appear. Go to WooCommerce, Settings, click on Shipping, and I just need to uncheck Enable the Shipping Calculator, and then scroll down and click on Save Changes. And if we go back, make sure that took effect. View the cart. Alright, good deal. Now we'll go over upselling and cross-selling. So we'll start with upselling. Basically, upselling is when you have 2 products that are very similar, but one of those products you make more money off of, and you want the customer to purchase the product that makes you the most money, obviously. So for example, the example we'll use, I've got apples and I've also got Fuji apples, and let's say we make more money off the Fuji apples. They're higher priced, and let's just assume we make more money off those. So if a customer is looking at the apples, I want to show them the Fuji apples, and in hopes that they would purchase the Fuji apples instead of the regular apples. So to set that up, let's go back to the back end. And since the Fuji apples are going to be an upselling product of the apples, we'll go to the apples product page. Go to products, click on products, and we'll open up the apples. So click on that, then scroll down and click on linked products. And since we're going to add an upselling product, click in the box next to upsells and search for the Fuji apples product. If I can type there we go. And click on that product and click on update. And click on view product. And so let's say a customer's on the apples product page, and when you scroll down, you'll have the Fuji apples showing up underneath the product description, and it says you may also like. And that is what's going to happen when you add a product as an upsell product. Now to add, now let's talk about cross-selling. And basically cross-selling is when you have two products that will go well together, so you want the customer to purchase both of those products. And the example we'll use is the green peppers and the red peppers. So if a customer has red peppers added to their cart, I want them to also be aware that we sell green peppers. And the same would apply for the green peppers. If they have those added to their cart, I want them to be aware that we sell red peppers. So to add cross-selling items, let's go back. And we'll start with the red peppers page. Go to products, click on products, and click on red peppers. Scroll down and click on linked products. And this time we'll add the green peppers as a cross-sell item for the red peppers. And when it finds it, click on that product, update the page. And we'll go back to the main products page and click on green peppers. Scroll down, click on linked products, and we'll add the red peppers as a cross-sell item for the green peppers. And scroll up, let's update that. And now if we view the product for the green peppers, and it won't show up like the upsell product did, but it will show up when you add the green peppers to your cart. And when we view our cart, this is where your cross-selling items will show up right there. And if we take this away from our cart, take the green peppers off, and go back and add the red peppers, now when we view our cart, we'll see the green peppers as a cross-selling item right there. Now let's talk about widgets and widget areas. And basically widgets enable you to add additional features and functionality to your website using widget areas. And different WordPress themes will have different widget areas available. If you look to the right here, we have our right sidebar, and this is a widget area. And you can see that we have these default widgets that come with WordPress installation. And we're going to, of course, remove all of these and add the widgets that we want in place. Now, first of all, to view your widget areas and to set your widget areas up, let's go back to the back end. And actually, I'm going to open this in a new tab so we can keep this tab open, and you'll be able to see exactly what happens when we replace those widgets. So we'll use this tab here, and I'm going to go to My Style, click on Theme Options. We actually have set this up already, but if you go to Layout Options, this is where you decide if you want a right sidebar widget area or a left sidebar widget area. And we did decide to go with the right sidebar widget area. And the My Style theme also has footer widget areas available to us, so click on Footer Customization. And you can see we have the option to have no footer widget areas, or 1, 2, or 3 or 4. And we're going to go with the default 4 widget areas for the footer, so I don't have to worry about saving any changes there. Now to view your widgets, your available widgets, and your widget areas, click on Appearance, go to Appearance, and click on Widgets. And you can see that we've got the primary widget area, which is going to be our sidebar. And you can see all the default widgets that are already in place there. I'm going to dismiss that. And then we have 4 footer widget areas available to us. Now to remove widgets from your widget areas, all you do is click, hold, and drag, and just remove them back here to the available widgets area, and then release. And we're going to do that with all of these that are in our sidebar. And then obviously on the left here are all the available widgets, and you can read through these. All the ones that start with WooCommerce are widgets that came with the WooCommerce plugin. And we're going to use a WooCommerce cart plugin for our sidebar. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag this up to the top and release that just like that. And I'm going to click on save. And another way to do that is I can click on this widget, and I can choose if I wanted it added to one of my widget areas. I could click on the one that I wanted it added to and click on add widget. That's another way instead of using the drag and drop interface. So let's add another widget underneath our shopping cart, and let's do a product categories widget right here. So I'm going to click, hold, and actually for this one I'll just click on it and add it to my primary widget area and click on add widget. Alright, so that's going to add that, and if I wanted to rearrange these, I can click on this arrow to minimize those options for each one. If I wanted my product categories widget above the cart, I could do that, and that saves automatically for you, but I'm going to keep it below the cart, just like that. And now, if I view the front end, actually let's just come here to the front end of my site and refresh this page, you'll see the primary sidebar no longer has those default widgets, and we have the product categories widget that we just added showing up. Now the reason you don't have the cart widget showing up above this is because we're actually on the cart page. If we go to any other page that displays our primary sidebar, for example, let's go to my about page, you'll see that we have the shopping cart showing up above the product categories. Now let's go back and add widgets to our footer area, and to do that we're going to go back to the back end and go to Appearance, click on Widgets. Then I'm going to scroll down, and I want to add a WooCommerce Products widget to my footer area 1, so I'm going to click on that. Scroll down and click on Footer 1 and click on Add Widget. And I want this widget to display only my featured products, so where it says Show, I'm going to click on that and click on Featured Products. And it says 5, but I've only got 4 featured products, so it'll only show the 4. So I'm going to click on Save, and then I'm going to click on this arrow to minimize that. And then for footer widget area 2, I'm going to add another WooCommerce Products Categories widget. Click on the widget, scroll down, and click on 2, and click on Add Widget. And I'm going to minimize that. And for footer widget area 3, I'm going to actually add a blog categories widget. We haven't added blog categories yet, but we will when we create our blog post here in just a moment. And that's just going to be called a categories widget to display your blog posts. Click on footer 3, click on add widget. And then for footer widget area 4, I'm going to add another WooCommerce cart. Scroll down to the WooCommerce cart right there. Click on it and click on footer 4 and click on add widget. And all of those should save by default. If we go back to the front end of our website and scroll down, we have all of our footer widgets in place. And of course, like I said, we haven't added a blog category yet, so the default is uncategorized, but we will add one here in just a moment. Now we'll set up our blog, and to do that, let's go back to the back end. And since we specified earlier under the homepage My Style Theme options that we did not want our blog posts showing up on our homepage, we're going to create another page that will display our blog posts. So go to Pages and click on Add New. And we'll just call this page Blog. And then under Template, just the same way we did with the contact form page, where we selected the contact form template, we're going to select the blog template and then click on Publish. And just so you know, this is something that not all themes have. Not all themes have the option to change a page template to blog, but the My Style theme does. Now we need to add the blog page that we just created to our main navigation menu. So go to Appearance and click on Menus. And we'll select the main navigation menu at the top and click on select. And then click on the box next to blog and click on add to menu. Scroll down and we'll just leave that at the end of our menu. That'll be fine. And then click on save menu. Now if we view the front end of our site and click on the blog page, click right here on blog, and we should have our sample blog post that came with the WordPress installation by default, just like that. Now we're actually going to remove this sample blog post and create our own. To create a blog post, go back to the back end of your site and click on posts, or hover over posts and click on add new. And you want to give your post a title just like we did with our pages and products. I'm just going to copy and paste the title that I have. And then the contents of your post would go right here, and the visual editor functions the exact same way as it did when we created our about page. So you can utilize the features of the visual editor if you choose to. But I'm just going to copy and paste this text in. Just like that, and I'm going to add space between my paragraphs. Okay, and then scroll down, and I want to point out that, or actually it looks like we need to go to screen options, and if you have the excerpt checked, minimize screen options there, this is where you could put a custom excerpt in. Otherwise, if you leave this blank, then it would just take the first several characters of your blog post and use that as the custom excerpt. So we'll just leave it that way. And then we want to add a category for our blog posts, just like we did with product categories. Click on add new category, and we'll call this category news. Click on add new category, and I'm going to scroll down and set a featured image. Just click on set featured image. I'm going to upload a file from my hard drive. And you can see this is a large image. Click on open, and I'm going to click on set featured image, and I'm going to publish the blog post. Now when I go back to the front end of my website and click on my blog page, you'll see we have this new blog post showing up above the sample blog post. And that's how a blog works. It's going to display your most recent posts at the top of this page, and you can click on this title to be taken, or you could have clicked on the image to be taken to the actual blog post page. And this is where it shows the full contents of the post. It looks like I need to go back and fix these paragraphs. So I'm going to click on edit post. And sometimes when you copy and paste text into the visual editor, especially when it's multiple paragraphs, you can run into that problem. So what I'll do is just start over and do these just one paragraph at a time. Then I'll hit enter, and it's all the same text for the demo purpose. That should do it. Click on update, and I'm going to view the post. Scroll down, and there you go. It's going to make the My Style theme is going to make the first paragraph bold by default. That's just one of the quirks of the My Style theme, but everything looks right. Now, if we scroll down, and you see now our blog categories widget in the footer area is showing our new blog post. Now let's delete the uncategorized sample blog post by going back to the back end of our site and click on, or hover over posts, click on all posts, and this hello world that's our sample blog post. Hover over that and click on trash. And now if we view the front end, scroll down, you see that we no longer have the uncategorized category showing up in our footer widget. And if we click on our blog page, scroll down, you see we only have one post. By the way, if you want to have an image associated with your WordPress account like I have here, then all you need to do is go to gravatar.com. Just open a new tab and go to gravatar.com and just sign up for an account and use the same email address that you have associated with your WordPress account, or your WordPress website rather. And you can add an image on the Gravatar website. Alright, the last thing we're going to go over is comment settings, and let's go ahead and click on this image to open up the full blog post. Scroll down. You can see that there is not a comment box beneath the contents of this post, and to control our comment settings, let's go back to the back end of our site. Scroll down, hover over settings, and click on discussion. By default, you can see that the box that says allow people to post comments on new articles, that is not checked. And the older version of WordPress, it was actually the opposite. The default setting that came with the standard WordPress installation had this box checked. But currently, what this means is that with this box not being checked, all of our new blog posts and our pages will not have the option for users to post comments. Now, if we were to check this box and scroll down to the bottom and save that change, then from this point forward, every blog post and every page that we created would automatically have the option for users to leave comments. But we're just going to leave it this way so that the default setting remains as it is. And then the second way to control comments is you can do it on individual pages and posts to override the default setting. So for example, in our blog post that we just created, let's say we do want to allow comments. What we're going to do is open up the blog post, go to posts, click on all posts, and open up the welcome to Farmers Market to the Farmers Market blog post. And come up here and click on screen options and make sure discussion is checked. Then click on screen options to minimize those options. Scroll down and you can see that we now have the option to check this box to allow comments on this particular post only. So I'm going to make that change, check that box and scroll up and click on update. And now if we go to the front end of our website and go to our blog page and open up this blog post, scroll down to the bottom, we now have an option for users to leave comments. And if we scroll back up and go back to the back end of our site, there's one more comment setting I want to point out. Go back to the settings and click on discussion again. And right here, before a comment appears, the comment author must have a previously approved comment. And this option is checked by default. And I highly recommend just keeping it that way because this will prevent a lot of spam comments. So you'll know once you get a comment from a user for the very first time, it'll show up in this section, and you could click on that section there. And you would be able to see that comment. And once you approve it, then from that point forward, that particular user, every time they write a comment, it will automatically be approved. But the first time you want to have that option to look over the comment and make sure it is legitimate. And one thing I just noticed, I'm going to go to the front end of my site, and on my home page, if I scroll down, you can see that my blog post is appearing on my home page. It looks like I need to reconfigure the home page option. So I'm going to go back to my back end. I'll just use this tab here. I'm going to go, of course, back to my style, click on theme options, and we'll go down to the home page options, hover over that, click on blog, and I'm just going to uncheck that and click on save all changes. And now if I go back to the front end of my site, scroll down and refresh the page, you can see that my blog is no longer appearing on my home page. But of course, when I click on my blog page, that's where my blog is going to show up. Alright, congratulations, you made it through the entire video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did like the video, please don't forget to like the video on YouTube, add the video as a favorite, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Those things really help me out. Also, feel free to share the video with other friends and family who may find the video useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.